Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, worldwide. The renegade there, the man when afraid, man in the wilderness. Keep it real and honest, running out of light. All right, so people, here we talk all the way about what one of the 70s, right? Yes, what one of the 70s. You know, say, Queenie go hard in funeral, go confess, say him fight hard, the man Dedmond Mckenzie in the 70s. And it's bad, you know, it runs something to me, it runs shockwave through my body, you know. For them, him really come confess, him fight hard in the 70s to the party. And then them prosecute him in the 80s. Him won parties. I remember him that runway in the 80s, you know. And the young, 72, he might explain what it happened at the funeral. But by, you know, sometimes when they might explain like things like this, then you hear with them too. Now who did they about? And you see what happened, not my word. But until them fought hard in the 70s to the party. And you know we're going in the 70s. We don't have to talk. We'll take a look back in the 70s too. Yeah, we have to. Because that's serious. That's why I say some people charge a treason for man, you know. Now I take up my talk, Jamaica joke. You have some people in Jamaica, them shouldn't in no politics. None at all. Right? Them is a garbage truck run out and I talk about foolishness. Yeah? Garbage truck run out and talk about garbage. Yeah? Yeah. See? Yes. You know, don't talk about garbage too, you know. So, I fact check him, but I'm going to hear something. All right, that. Let me hear this. All right, so yeah, make my thing different to the people. You know, you have to school the work same time and everything, and you have to listen with him where I use and all kind of things. Yeah. Soon say, true confession, soon say. But true confession. Him does confession, soon say. He does confess. So, garbage truck run out and say Andrew Wallace is the greatest prime minister for doing nothing at all. And then I use them own crime statistic. And I tell you the crime I dropped from 2022. Like one of them in from for 10 years. Not stupid so. You might tell life on the bus. You know in Jamaica, I want to talk to Jamaica right now. When phone you them I go school. But them don't wait for the bad bus, man. Everybody in a job, him say everybody want the bus, everybody take the bus. You could have less than 100 bus and every people take the bus and go to school. Nasty Chuck. Do fact checking, man, I know where you're at. And by the way, I say Rhoda, the bulldozer, side chick bulldozer, she run out and say people are stifling bullshit. You understand? And that's a garbage, me everything now. All right, good. Yeah. See? Yeah, man. See? She run out I chat bullshit. Well, hey, Anthony Bakwa. Well, I look back at the 70s, because that grieved me. Remember, even time, but now, in the 70s, but them shoot Bad Marley, you know? They made a kill Bad Marley. I remember people from Tivoli. No, you hear this guy come out, yeah, and come say, you know, I'm a tough man. I want to start the show like this. Before I play Queenie, maybe just start the show like this. This may I play first.
Jamaican Labour Party as its instrument in the entire campaign against.
Weird.
Using the Jamaican Labour Party as its instrument in the entire campaign against the Michael Manley government. I'd say most of the violence was coming from the Jamaica Labour Party side, and behind them was the CIA in terms of getting the weapons in and getting the money in with all the propaganda guidance, because there was a steady stream.
So you see who used propaganda? At that Andrew used the CIA tactic right now. That not gonna work. We understand media more than them. And we don't need crowd to deal with this, you know, because them we know, you know. Yeah, and by the way, we are legion. Yes. So although we don't need crowd with the everywhere same way, you know. Yes. See? With the everywhere. So yes. So you know, yes, we are legion. So with the everywhere, we don't need crowd. But anything we want to get done, it will be done. It can get done. It's based on like clip. Yes. You understand? So with the everywhere. The man I mean I do win. You know, with the everywhere. So them can't go around me, you know. You have to know that, you know. Anything with them say you hear. So we do it like me and them now, you know, them want a cold war with me and them, you know. Yes, them want to destroy the place. So we gotta deal with them case. No two way about that. See? So we don't need crowd around here. I do not need crowd. I'm good. Watch this.
A continuous campaign of propaganda against the Manley government. The weapons, there was no problem with getting weapons in because the ganja smuggling was a perfect route for bringing weapons back into Jamaica from the United States. The CIA would look upon the radical political content of reggae music as dangerous because it would help to create a consciousness among poor people, among the great majority of Jamaicans.
That's why them shoot back. I'm right, you know. You see, them one people tell you why them shoot Bad Marley. Because Bad Marley come and sing Rat Race, and Rasta now work for CIA, and them kill it. Them kill it. Them go up there and shoot it. CIA want to move him and say, yo, the message out of the music, this is the real way. Like when you hear them and say, you know, like when the virgin come say, you know, them say, like me I put a hammer in them business. You see, like how the virgin come say, let me show you. Wait there. Remember, you know, them say the virgin they said, let me see if I can find it fast. So me I put a, yes, me I spoil up them plan. Me I did that to them plan. To them plan. What them for doing so that sit down and chat, them for come tell me in my face to be a danger to them plan. Then so what them do, we do make plan, remember you can't plot against me, you know. Remember, me do win, you can't plot against me. You know yeah. You know, and everybody about two sides of them, you know. Both sides, yeah. So you can't plot against me. Worst thing for you do. Anything you do, you know, you get a free. Yes, anything. I remember me not do tabloid. Me name not ask you know. Saying when you can't let some lion and thing out of cage, you know. Some bad things out of cage. You cannot do that. Saying, remember we have the art of Mandela, but the mind of. All right. Saying, so behave on yourself. Watch out. Continue.
And of course, naturally, the climate was created for an attempt on Bob Marley's life.
All right, I'm going to play about this again, and then I'm going to play Queenie, and then I'm going to start show you what's going on in Jamaica.
The Labour Party as its instrument in the entire campaign against the Michael Manley government. I'd say most of the violence was coming from the Jamaica Labour Party side, and behind them was the CIA in terms of getting the weapons.
I'm right, because here this now, you have to defend yourself. For Barna Rockford, place of fear black up. So you have to, you have to stand up, that them not come kill you. And the 80s, them drop letters, you know. Them want 20 man, 20 woman, this and that, in 1980. Because the election take long. The election around October. So you find out, so them get to do a lot of damage. And like 76, you know? Yes, continue.
In and getting the money in with all the propaganda guidance, because there was a steady stream, a continuous campaign of propaganda.
But them I use the same propaganda thing. So the PMP do this, wish them live off for the PMP, everything with the PMP do. And you not put nothing in there firmly for say him come and him. Only thing he might do is just rise up some money for the car people, them and do and chat one bag of fuckery. And that's the truth. Yeah? No politics, not at all, no program, not there. We can say input in this. Like the PART program. You see the one that run on Mandeville, kind of Mandeville, the thing that where fried green the round, you know. And you see him round there, so no one, you might and I mash it up. Mandeville that too. The highway of them, highway, no, Patterson do that. And it have blueprint work for them just continue, not them. So any government come in, you continue. So not them attach themselves to these things where them not come up with. Housing trust a mandate. I hate to make up the budget. They carry come a mandly and three other leaders from the islands. Bill Carricom, founded Carricom 1973. We play that too. You understand? The National Water Commission and Michael Mandatory, you know. The ADPEM and Michael Mandatory, you know, for the disaster. So they mash it up there. They can't tell about the money now and like they move the money and nobody know where the money there. Remember the guys say have the money in their account, you know. So we might tell about who control data now, that don't make no sense. And that I get some clearance about him own data in my rent. Remember you have one stamp or you sign contract with him. This is a foolishness rather mandatory. See? You use car to come in a Patterson. Saying the highway of Patterson. The highway them a Patterson. See, not for them thing. Man, they are free education and free health. Them tell lie. We don't know. Free education and free health on Monday. See, I was saying sorry him take it out in 1986. Because if you have educate, but because them not like education. If you have an educated nation, now them couldn't tell lie and trick the people there. But if you never know your people like people, brother, I'm telling you this. We travel the world. And we study the world together. We have great minds. So when you come in the gap, but I know history, you can't twist nothing and do this. You listen, when you go learn a baby things, man. You understand? We know the tabloid. So we put on the truth at all times so you can fact check it. Me not tabloid, me not my style. That's just a waste of my time. Because I like put on things. Let me tell you something, Andrew. Me different from you, you know, because you don't know this. You don't know this. You admit this. You are write a speech. And when you are write a speech, him admit this, you know. Yeah. The tourism, the tourist enhancement tax, yeah, man. That money they use now, that money, them use build up infrastructure and do other things and everything. Tourist enhancement for the A Patterson. Yeah. Patterson that. See? Yeah, the one of these things and the free medication and them thing there, where you hear talk to us, we for the first listen, a Patterson bill it. So even if we put up something, hey, if you ever see them thing with them same achievement, you know, don't see no. Then don't. You understand? Don't make them trick you. I ask what Andrew do, Andrew not do nothing. Andrew not do nothing, you know. Seriously not do nothing. You can't say the boss them because a Patterson bill about that. Them used to call it chichi. And them get it 450. Now it under like 200 and add. Even the new one, because remember you run the fleet and them all. You them get all up for the time. And when you look younger cabin on. No, you should have maintained it that it not drop under 400 and add. Even put something on it. It below when them get. Below. And if a boss after boss, me tell you say be a garbage them do. Instead of them come in and it bill. Go maybe 600 or 700 now or 800 double. And you can't boast on the double because you don't build nothing. It drop. JOTC, it drop. See? It's bad. But me go show this. Now play Queenie. Queenie, I confess. Him confess. So him and Dedmond and them from Young Jamaica. And them fought. Him said them fight in the 70s for the party. Yeah? Not my word. Let me play this.
Jamaican Labour Party as its instrument in the entire campaign against the Michael Manley government.
Yes.
I'd say most of the violence was coming from the Jamaica Labour Party side, and behind them was the CIA in terms of getting the weapons in and getting the money in with all the propaganda guidance, because there was a steady stream, a continuous campaign of propaganda against the Manley government. The weapons, there was no problem with getting weapons in, because the ganja smuggling was a perfect route for bringing weapons back into Jamaica from the United States. The CIA would look upon the radical political content of reggae music as dangerous, because it would help to create a consciousness among poor people, among the great majority of Jamaicans. And of course, naturally, the climate was created for an attempt on Bob Marley's life. The purpose of all those activities of violence and armed robbery and murder, coupled with the propaganda campaigns calling for the overthrow of the Manley government, naturally created a situation of terror, really, of tension, of uncertainty, of doubt, and fear.
You hear this? For doubt and fear. All right, listen Queenie, you know, Pandis. Can I play some other things, you know? But more, you listen Queenie first. Queenie, Queenie go a funeral and him spill him guts. Can them they doing bad after in the 80s? Watch this.
And privileged to be asked to move a tribute to a dear friend and brother. As and I travel the roads during good times and bad times, difficulties and good. As and I became friends after the Jamaican Labour Party lost the 1972 elections, general elections. At the time, no one would stand for the party. But at the time, it wasn't kosher to say in public that you're a member of the Jamaican Labour Party and working for the party. We founded then Young Jamaica.
Yeah.
With people like Ozzy Harding, Peter Wickham, Jerry Coombs, Sexton Hope, Dedmond Mckenzie. And we were the voice of the Jamaican Labour Party. Because after the 1972 election, the party looked at itself and started a civil war among themselves and were destroying themselves as a party. It was Young Jamaica that carried the banner for the Jamaican Labour Party throughout the 70s. There was no party. To this extent, after the elections, Lightburn called the party a headless corp.
So, if JLP did not go and go back to the days where them call the party a death corp, right? He might tell you what him do, and just listen what him say him do. The man confess, listen.
And went elsewhere to form a new party. As he stood up, he said, "Oh, rudderless ship." As Harding stood up for the party and never wavered. We worked relentlessly. He was a member of the Crossroads Club. I was a member of the, he was a member of the Thursday Club of Port Manor. I was a member of Crossroads Club, Dedmond and I. We carried
one him dead man.
the fight through this country. He had no fear. Rudderless ship.
Them have no fear.
As Harding stood up for the party and never wavered. We worked relentlessly. He was a member of the Crossroads Club. I was a member of the, he was a member of the Thursday Club of Port Manor. I was a member of Crossroads Club, Dedmond and I. We carried the fight through this country. He had no fear.
When does it quiet? Can't remember the country we'd have a fight in the 76 and when does it quiet? Because remember himself we carry the fight through the country, them have no fear. So who them have fear? We're not fighting in the country because this is just a party. You remember just quiet? I remember you'd have real fight in Jamaica, you know. Remember just remind me. This is not my word. Remember it come from them. You understand? Remember Bob Marley get shot, even Tide Bundle in 1980. Bob Marley get shot in 76. One bag of people get mashed up and everything. Him same take the fight all over Jamaica. That's not my word. Yeah? You could not, because there is no fight in a politics. So you do your politics, you know, you open the people in my but when you say a fight, because we fight it, go on. Listen, man, but hey, when you hear this, you know, me take this serious, you know, let me play it back.
And went elsewhere to form a new party. As he stood up, he said, "Oh, rudderless ship." As Harding stood up for the party and never wavered. We worked relentlessly. He was a member of the Crossroads Club. I was a member of the, he was a member of the Thursday Club of Port Manor. I was a member of Crossroads Club, Dedmond and I. We carried the fight through this country. He had no fear of anything. There are a lot of others who came after that. But they don't know the history of where Ozzy Harding and the few of us came from in holding a party together at the time. All attacks were then directed at Mr. Shearer. No one man, as I said, no one man lose an election, just as though no one man lose an election. Therefore, we all should take the blame if we lost an election, but not you, Lawson Shearer. They shouldn't kill you, Lawson. We stood and we fought relentlessly. During the state of emergency, when a lot of other people were being picked up and sent to detention, Ozzy Hardy myself were out there as brothers in the field.
Them in the field. We see who want them in the field now. Yeah. Where others picked up detention. Them come back with the detention talking. Remember, you know, man, they tell us when the fire rage, he put them under heavy manners. And when the gunshot back and the fire rage, I did them. You hear what I'm saying? Because man did one time of a state of emergency. You know what I'm saying? Because them shoot all bad Mali. See? You hear what I'm saying? Him attacking at the same time with Mandy. But gonna back, I remember back from JLP. Attacking for us overthrow Mandy. Them don't assassinate him, you know. Him and bad Mali. You put them two men, but him that try assassinate. Labor right that try assassinate. Hey, when them come with them lion thing, me not put them, you know. They are anti-Jamaican. When them do them use words to catch you. But me not put them. You don't do that. And then them come back. Let me tell Andrew what show me off. It's true the lies and the propaganda we want to do. Want to use clean and them thing there. No want to come back with the same anti-thing where we want to spread propaganda and wash, you know, the PMP and say this and your life will not stick, brother. Brother, here your life could have worked and it not work again. It couldn't work, it have work when everybody dons and when your uncle have, like if it's a big mama, I want to give them a license and nobody couldn't get to come talk out. They have some people now who don't see that just gobble up thing, but we facts check it. That's why I like on the chat, you know. You notice my way to run in the chat. Remember, I said the things, you know, when I confess. Not my word. Them I confess. See that? This one I hear from them out long time. Yeah? Yeah. So I tell you about even the state of emergency. Why there was a state of emergency in the first place? Because of what them are going with, what the JLP are going with. You know, we might have said the CIA, but no, CIA never, them fun things. We study all them work, you know. So, if you're looking at Central America, South America, and them times when they want to capture certain things and them use them own people, them infiltrate the army, the police, or the political party. Yeah? Your opponent. So them infiltrate that, and then them run the money and them tell you what to do, and them, you know, yes. And then you have some booberate people. Can't remember money lead them astray. The money lead woman astray, man astray, everything astray, you know. Yes. You have some people now, you know, them the firm and say, yo, hear this now. One day we're dead to, hey, I better go and suffer and make it better, you know, more than. See, money lead people astray. And things, the vanity lead a lot of people astray, you know. Yes. See? And police have studied that with we own, you know, because vanity could have lead we astray. Remember, man, let's lead astray for nothing. And not flip flop, run with people. If you even say you had this, and we see you had that, try run away. See? But when we lead ourselves astray for nothing. See? Yeah, I'm convinced. He just admit in a yes, sir, you know, at the funeral, you know, said them fault, you know.
Came after that. But I don't know the history of where Ozzy Hardy and the few of us came from in holding a party together at the time. All attacks were then directed at Mr. Shearer. No one man, as I said, no one man lose an election, just as though no one man lose an election. Therefore, we all should take the blame if we lost an election, but not you, Lawson Shearer. They shouldn't kill you, Lawson. We stood and we fought relentlessly. During the state of emergency, when a lot of other people were being picked up and sent to detention, Ozzy Hardy and myself were out there as brothers in the field. We have never left each other on the political field. We have never run away from political battles. It was
you think I drop me, mate? When does sell the coil? When does sell the coil? Him continue to tell you, him not run away from political battle. Him one of them. Him one of them. The man confess. The man, my Mike here, this, the man confess in the political battle, you know. and he never run away from political battle. Which of them caught the battle? See? It him say now. It him say, him just say it. Yeah. 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 Him tell him to run away from political battle. And them out there in the field. Yeah. I'm going to play it for me. So I'm going to go for turn on a fan for me. I'm going to cool off. He mean that you know, Michael, you know. Yeah, they might one of them too. But me, him call Dedmond name, you know. I'm going to play it from top. I'm going to go for something. I'm going to play it from top. Can I listen to some name where I call? Yeah?
To be asked to move a tribute to a dear friend and brother. As then I travel the roads during good times and bad times, difficulties and good. As then I became friends after the Jamaica Labour Party lost the 1972 elections, general elections. At the time, no one would stand for the party. But at the time, it wasn't kosher to say in public that you're a member of the Jamaica Labour Party and working for the party. We founded then Young Jamaica.
Yeah, well,
With people like Ozzy Harding, Peter Whittingham, Jerry Coombs, Sexton Hope, Dedmond Mckenzie. And we were the voice of the Jamaica Labour Party.
So them are the voice. Remember, you know, see, I got to send you out anyway. Them are the voice. Listen. So them are the footman. Them are the voice. Okay. Okay.
Because after the 1972 election, the party looked at itself and started a civil war among themselves and were destroying themselves as a party. It was Young Jamaica that carried the banner for the Jamaica Labour Party throughout the 70s.
Yeah.
There was no party.
There was no.
To this extent, after the elections, Lightburn called the party a headless corp and went elsewhere to form a new party. As he stood up, he said, "Oh, rudderless ship." As Harding stood up for the party and never wavered. We worked relentlessly. He was a member of the Crossroads Club. I was a member of the, he was a member of the Thursday Club of Port de Mana. I was a member of Crossroads Club, Dedmond and I. We carried a fight through this country. He had no fear of anything. There are a lot of others who came after that. But I don't know the history of where Ozzy Harding and the few of us came from in
Others came after that, but them don't know the history. You hear this? Because 72, him born 52. So 72, him that be 20. So them young and fit, and Dedmond somewhere down there too. So them young, no one fit, and them at the foot guy, them were okay. So him just in 20s, just now, you know, him around 24, 26 in a 24 in a 76. So you know them vibe. Okay, I see the troublemaker. Them continue.
Building a party together at the time. All attacks were then directed at Mr. Shearer. No one man, as I said, no one man lose an election, just as though no one man lose an election. Therefore, we all should take the blame if we lost an election, but not you, Lawson Shearer. They shouldn't kill you, Lawson. We stood and we fought relentlessly. During the state of emergency, when a lot of other people were being picked up and sent to detention, Ozzy Harding himself were out there as brothers in the field. So
when the matter here, make it sound, can them that tell life and detention. Remember, you know, them our 200 odd people dead. Them burn down people place and kill people. They make it worse, 889 them kill in 1980. Right? You have to defend yourself. Remember, I come from East Kingston, them can't tell me now. Them can't tell me now. See? In a 82, them shoot on my virgin in a JRS bus. Them go for Seattle. Them shoot. Say, them that shoot, put them on through the bus. Right where the Kentucky they right now, right there so. When them a pass there so, them put them on, send me there right there so. Moses them that shoot, you know. Time.Chuck. For Moses and them fire the shot and lick him behind him. In foot back or so. Where the knee, the right and the knee, right at the back part or so. Tear off piece of that, can look on it, you know. So when them come back, the man them do part of the road this and everything, and the police them out there. So the man them defend themselves. Yeah, the man them have to defend themselves. And it goes straight out to, you know. Man them go lay down on the top of the building, them, and the police them as the referee are firing up and down. And the man them say, no, you can't make them people devour you. The man them a pass a fire shot on you, you know. Anybody them see, you know, them can't tell me nothing. Selvin get shot. Selvin dead and on, dead fair time now still. Them can't tell me nothing, you know. And through them here when I talk, remember them can't talk about no history until we not at all. Yeah. It's not talking up, and when you look at you don't have to bleed, man, they shot gears him, tear off around here, saying, and then fire X amount of shot when them pass and come back. So the man them knock it back on them bus, on the JS bus, yes. See? So them can't tell me nothing. Them can't tell me nothing. Say man, at them unite people now for defend themselves. So like people, remember you know, you in your place, and I like you there, Tivoli. I want with Tivoli, them a pass officer that what them do. Them a helicopter them out and couldn't even drive come so. I remember one road, you can't pass and fire shot and go airport and have to come back. You hear that? You gotta get 100 full. Police are going up and down like them crazy. Yeah man. And them start that screaming at them both them in there, both them a fire shot on people. This is what them do. Me not even ask. My brother get shot. Where them go? Them do it. So the man them retaliate back when them a come. Yeah. Them get nervous. Yeah. That's why I say I gotta come blow up some of our cave them in our work hill. You know, be a soldier and be a sitting. After I'm over to man, be a sitting boy with you know. Yeah, because we have some cave up in our work hill, but we don't just what we call it first hill, second hill, and third hill. Because we can't do it. I remember we live right there, so we have the hill and we have the sea. Some training ground where, you know, we go swim. You can't deal and we have rock spring where we go, you know, bathe in our fresh water, rock spring. Nice and thing, and you know, we can go catch a fish and we do sea dick and we do things. So we have deal and sea. So, you know, say, I come and go and bad, then come in. See? But at them work, and I know somebody will tell me this. So, you see, when I tell them story, them to go away, you know. Them to go away. You understand? These are the evenness of them and continue. But here when I'm saying now, when them are get take up, them in the field. Hear this.
We have never left each other on the political field. We have never run away from political battles.
And him admits it, he never run away from political battles. Yes, continue.
He was quiet in his demeanor and presentation, but I was the opposite to him.
You know what I'm saying? He might the radical, he might the opposite to that one. Yeah. Yeah, as well, adding. That is he might the same one where at the father they see the one where with them up there from dollar something, you know. The adding there, at the father this dead. Yes. That one that the adding there where you see with the oligarch, where they did up the SSL and then go farm that thing. You see, yes, and then father this. Yes. You hear what I say him opposite to that one? All right.
So we work together through these things. When a lot of things went down, Hazy was the voice of reasoning, was the voice for justice.
You know what I'm saying? When a lot of things went down. And then him that going so bad that them have to run him where, you know, Queenie, you know. Them have to run him, might talk about this right, them run him. Him that going bad from the 1970's. So them run him in the 80s. Him say them prosecute him and this why them prosecute. Them couldn't take him no more. Radical. Radical. So them run him away. In the 80s. Remember when he come back a one cowboy boot and him cowboy hat and them thing and people take him in and then him turn against them, you know. Yeah? Yeah, them run him away in the 80s. Yeah, not my word. Him say one party prosecute him because him do some radical things. Not my word. Yeah, when does it come ahead?
In the Jamaica party and government. And one of the things that drew me closer to Hazy and to Marigold is during the 80s, in my darkest days, when I was at the end of the rope, I said, stand strong, do not give up, stay and fight.
Yeah.
When I was persecuted by my own party, only 2 persons stood with me.
So remember, you know, them know him stay now. Like, yeah, them know him stay. So them have to run him away. You know, the 80s, yeah. No, in the one, going to the state, in the going to the state, he live in the state, you know, that's why I'm having thing, you know. Them run him, man. Yeah? Them run him away. And none this about him used to go on bad. And about him mouth, does him mouth. No, him used to go on bad. But when him I use him mouth now, but when him younger, him know himself. Him a dead man, him call dead man name. And he mentioned about the state of emergency. Because you notice them stop talking about state, because them did want to trick people, you know. Kruger. Anybody else see man they catch and pick up, the police no, the soldier them pick up. Eh? Because them like some general on the battlefield. So if Kruger said she pick up, she was a female general on the battlefield. And Colonel Charles too, he was one of them too. So yeah, some never pick up some. Mike Henry are one of them too, you know. See? And but them. Whoa. Yeah. Continue.
My own party and my own government persecuted me in the 80s. 2 persons stood with me.
Yeah, same one government persecuted in the 80s. Can that go on bad now like when doing the 70s, so him not take no talk in the 80s, and he was a Siaga always tell us him had the 100 done. So him talk about him do this and do that. Siaga the 100 done. Yeah? Him one party persecute him in the 80s. And then they run him away.
Me closer to Hazi and to Marigold. It's during the 80s, in my darkest days, when I was at the end of the rope, I said, stand strong, do not give up, stay and fight.
Yeah.
When I was persecuted by my own party, only 2 persons stood with me. My own party and my own government persecuted me in the 80s. 2 persons stood.
You hear that? But tell us them wicked to them one kind. Because after him do what him do, you know, them persecute him. Can go on like him want run the party, so them run him out. Them run him away. Yeah. Go on like him do more, him know about what, so them run him. That's why them run him away. Yes. And see my admit it, yeah. Remember we talk these things, you know. Them did run him away. We talk when him come back and them did run him away. He might tell himself. You notice me not have live. He tell us him come back when him come back and then take him back down there, so. Him not in a Bruce neither, you know. Because it's a Bruce and run him away too. Yeah? Yeah, because see I got the done. See I got say alone at the done. You hear this? Yeah. Yeah. No, she out order, you know, police to remove her, you know. Because she's not a member of parliament up there, do member of parliament work. So out order and a video and all kind of things. We were throwing her away, you know. Call police, you know. Take her off everything illegal. Then people point it out. Continue.
Stood with me, and that was Hazi Harding and Dr. Percy Broderick. Against all the pressure that came on them, say, move away from him, do not associate yourself with him. Those 2 stood for justice and for...
You then said, do all right. You think if him was a good apple, them that said this? Them say move him and move away from him. Don't associate this guy was rotten. He was a rotten. He did spoil. You understand? Quincy, we say a thing we put up. Yeah, man. No, yeah. Hold it look a bit there. Yeah. Him did rotten and spoil. See, watch out.
Reason. And it's true as the Harding why I'm standing here today. Is it true as the Harding why I'm here?
You know what I'm saying? I lie my tell because him go and come back. When some man come out about through him there. Yes.
2 persons stood with me, and that was Hazi Harding and Dr. Percy Broderick.
So him tell us everybody else run him away. Then when could I do for everybody run him away, so? Him did I go and work very bad. I want to prove so well I me do this, you know, so. So here when I say who stood with him? 2. All-time party.
Was the opposite to him. So we work together throughout these things. When a lot of things went down, Hazi was the voice of reasoning.
When a lot of things went down, when the things them went down,
voice for justice in the Jamaica party and government. And one of the things that drew me closer to Hazi and to Marigold is during the 80s, in my darkest days, when I was at the end of the rope, I said, stand strong, do not give up, stay and fight.
And at the rope.
When I was persecuted by my own party, only two persons stood with me. My own party and my own government persecuted me in the 80s. Two persons stood with me, and that was Hazi Harding and Dr. Percy Broderick. Against all the pressure that came on them, say, move away from him, do not associate yourself with him. Those two stood for justice and for reason. And it's true Hazi Harding why I'm standing here today. It's true Hazi Harding why I'm here. The friendship, the guidance, the support I got from Hazi and Marigold. I can tell those two, the love between them was made in heaven. At the time, during my persecution, one was kicked out of parliament unceremoniously and was driven out of the country where my own government, the prime minister and then his general secretary cannot be employed in this country. Hazi Harding never left me.
Them kick him out of the country. I'm not telling you them kick him out of the country. Him that going too terrible. You must say Juna this and that, them kick him out. And them, yeah, them have to kick him out. I'm going to come and they done over Siaga and everything. You must say them in one party can go on by 1970'S. I'm going to tell you them not afraid of no buckle. Play it back.
During the 80s, in my darkest days, when I was at the end of the rope, I said, stand strong, do not give up, stay and fight. When I was persecuted by my own party, only two persons stood with me. My own party and my own government persecuted me in the 80s. Two persons stood with me, and that was Hazi Harding and Dr. Percy Broderick. Against all the pressure that came on them, say, move away from him, do not associate yourself with him. Those two stood.
Can you imagine if the party of us move away, don't associate yourself with him? What I tell you, say, greetings, Raleigh. What I tell about him? Eh? Yeah, some people should have charged for trees in Jamaica. Let me look on the CIA have time done tap. Let me look on the CIA in Jamaica and them activities.
For justice and for reason. And it's true Hazi Harding why I'm standing here today. It's true Hazi Harding why I'm here. The friendship, the guidance, the support I got from Hazi and Marigold. I can tell those two, the love between them was made in heaven. At the time, during my persecution, one was kicked out of parliament unceremoniously and was driven out of the country where my own government, the prime minister and then his general secretary cannot be employed in this country. Hazi Harding never left me. Even when I went abroad, every day, every week, Hazi Harding and I would be on the phone. I came back, he encouraged me, he stood with me in politics. When Hazi was on his sick bed, you can rest assured that at least twice a week, I can get a call from Hazi and we discuss everything.
Yeah.
Because he knew I was persecuted for nothing. And the only sin I committed then, and as I spoke about it every day, I happened to have won a constituency that was ordained by God for a particular family. And I should not have been there. And that was why the Prime Minister then and the General Secretary took it on themselves to persecute me.
You mean to tell Siago, him say Siago. Take it by himself and persecute him and one of them run him. And him idea and this and that. But I'm more than that. Him a go and bad and them run him away. If I hear him say the Prime Minister, then Siago them run him away. Yeah. You understand? First of all, yeah, in a Chapeltown. Hey, them terrible, you know. Mike and go and terrible down that, you know. The people them work with Mike and me not talk to me. Them talk to me. Say them dead young and them food. Because Mike and me tell them say Cuba got take over and take a turn in a communist country and one man they are communists and all kind of things. I appear that the whole of them spread. It's at the same room them are use the same kind of tactic. With them, that's why it pissed me off. Me a war with them, you know. Them don't know why me a war with them, you know. So them use Big Mama are part of that tactic stuff. So what them do, them spread rumor upon everything and then boost something and do. You not live life. You know people are suffer. You want to know people are suffer? Let me show you people are suffer. If you ever hear big dirty thinking Chuck when talk, let me come back to him. But look here, look on this in a real life. Right now as me speak. You have him phone and this alone him can do. Oh God, man. Eh? And Andrea tell us the place everybody have work. We should know a lie. Them change up that. Nobody now work. And them I use it for a record. The other day them go pay. One of them place, I think I in a street there. Yeah? Go play for somebody say Jamaica the most peaceful country in the Caribbean. Now anybody that come, if a travel thing that you deal with you, anybody up here, them not wise. Them that say no, you cannot do this. People remember we travel a lot of Caribbean islands. Never change. Never change. You have Caribbean island people that are dead. Yeah, them water, you don't have to do nothing to them water, them natural with everything. You have Cayman side away. It's there on number 3, the most peaceful island in Caribbean, Cayman. Right? And it show you which one of the most peaceful island. And a matter of fact, Jamaica 15 from 15. 15. It's in a top 10, top 5, not like that. But they still them pay money to put out this garbage. And you have some people who spread it like it really can't real. When you look on Barbados and look on the other island, then you tell you say, who write this? It don't got shown up and I don't do this. You don't even want to do this. Yeah? Because you're still at some place in Jamaica still under level 3. Just June. Around the 22nd of June. You can go Google it and look it up. Look on travel advice in Jamaica and look open America about it. And open the UK about it and everything. I used to see some places that no go on them thing there. Them places never get travel advice. Them now have them kind of little things, man. Yeah. Yeah. You can't contest to that. No, but we have enough people up there to set speed. You go curious, so you don't see nothing like this. You go to one of them places, not even Barbados. The one of them places, not even Antigua stay so. So when you go along to them places, you know, Montserrat and them places, or you've got to write something like this. You'll be an asset to put out something like this. So people go up this and say, yes, Jamaica voted the most peaceful. You fool, them fool, you fool. Me say them fool who do these things, you see, man. They don't take nothing in consideration, you know, because Andrew lived by lies. The same thing when I'm doing in the 70s, the same thing them do. But easy for facts, the better, the trouble enough for them place, the better. Never change, the money not change. Over 30 years, we are going to Barbados and the one of them, enough for them, over 3 decades. And listen, man, the money, you know, the money are 2 for 1, same way, up to now, it pay. There's a place like 270 for 1. That down in Trinidad around. It was 6 something to a US, must raise declare something, but it not that far. For me, the money Barbados are 2 for 1 same way. The other place are like 270 for 1, $2.70 to $1. Right? You understand? For them can live it in, okay, them talk enough time better than Jamaica. See, enough time. So when they come and talk these things and put up that is a big garbage again. You can't make them put it out and then let me tell you something. If you make a man live off a false statistic, he will never do better. If you go to school, let me tell you something, Andrew. If you go to school and you make somebody just copy in a yearbook, just write for you, and you relax and do not remember, you know learn nothing, you're done. And it will show up. So even if them give a fast doctorate and thing where you depend your own to do your own work, you cannot do nothing. If the thing try and work it out yourself, even if somebody that help you try and work it out yourself. Yeah? But you don't come with false things and put it up, then you lose. And that happened to the country. Them do too much PR. We're serious. We're serious. Them do too much PR. And that now will flap. And you want to say the worst thing ever, you know? America have a PR. Yeah? And them talk of a PR when I'm going away. The unemployment rate, yeah. Up to this week, Big Mouth Delano said the unemployment rate gone down. Jamaica, the most peaceful place in the Caribbean. Delano big, well, in my apocalypse, you know, say my shit. You'd have really come and tell Jamaica the most peaceful place. That garbage and unemployment rate gone down with the same thing that I give them that I tell you over 700,000 people not working. And we don't have no space to put them neither, you know. So what you do? You can't have more than 700,000 people Yeah? Where if them get job, them that do it, them have to live. Them have picked it to one kind of things to go to school and everything. And you count them out. And then say unemployment. Who you tells unemployment rate gone down? And nobody now work. Eh? All these things are bullshit. Delano, you don't make me feel this shit, you know. You feel go away, man. Stop living a lie and tell the people them lie. What the fuck happened to you know? You think that's adapt to them people, you know. Them live off a lie, them want to use the same CIA and the spin. We're not going to allow it, brother. We're not going to allow it. We're not shit. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, man. Well, yeah, man. No, but can't hear this, my brother. Hear this, my brother. Boy, I play my sound system yesterday. And around at 10:35, when me look on the time, come here play PW, but you know, you go down back in a scat this, scat that and come up. And then, you know, me reach. I play some different artists, but you know, enough of them man, they gone, you know. And you play a catalog artists that come up. And then me see I look one guy, put up on my thing, I play funky part now, I play a series of funky part. But you know, when I play 45, I play them band up. And I see one guy put up on my thing and put some laughing thing. Funky Paul was a label, right? I said, Funky Paul are artists. Funky Paul, them there Jamaica, we are talking about Funky Paul. Come on, for my thing and not talk about politics on us and banning. One of the absence go away, man. But Funky Paul are label, right? Funky Paul there. Put no label Funky Paul, not that one of you know yourself too, you know. Yeah? You ever hear Funky Paul preach politics or something like that? Me I play Funky Paul and put up. Me I have ban them same time. One of you know yourself, man. Know yourself. You understand? Continue.
And in my darkest day when I had 2 young children, one 2 years old and one was 6 months and I was kicked out. Ozzy was the only one on project stood with me, gave me encouragement. This is why I survived and here today. I hold all I have to Oswald Harding and Marigold Harding.
Yeah, that him owe everything we have to Oswald Harding. Eh? Yeah, this. Because then kick him out, him own prime minister and prosecute him. Eh? And when that was the guy
they gave that to me and gave that strength to me. Ozzy was the longest serving senator, the longest serving president of the Senate. He gave his all. When we had problem with parties those days, Ozzy was always there as a reasoned voice, a person for justice and honesty and honor. And we are proud of him, what he gave. As I said, he did it in this quiet way, ways opposite to how he did. But we are grateful to Ozzy Harding. There are many today in government or in the party who don't know where it came from. I have no idea. But Ozzy Harding is a foundation, and he
they have no idea. So I tell you where I come from and then fight. I'm not going to show you some of the fight to them fight. Continue.
What the many today are at the end of the line, at the top of the line of receiving. Because of the work of Ozzy Harding, myself, Sticks and Hope, Peter Whitcomb and others. And today I'm honored to stand here and speaking for someone who stood for justice, stood with me in my dark days, brought me through, encouraged me throughout my life in New York when I was exiled. And I came.
Pretty much who exiled him? Who exiled him? Yeah, I know for them run when the 80s go up there still, you know. Show up past him like, you go up there, him did up there when them up there, right? Show up past kill 1,400, you know. In a space and time. Tell them exile him. See I got them exile him. And a man they exile him, you know. Well, when him dip on the field, he never get caught up in the net. We have Cougar run out. And I talk about, you know, on them the lock we up. We on the front line. But you know it's a fire rage and gunshot back and people are dead. And she can tell you, admit that she's up on the front line. And she get locked up our park camp. Eh? She tell you. I'm pregnant, can tell you too. Yeah, you know him say I'm one prime minister. Him say I'm one prime minister. Let me play it back. Let me play it, man. I hear him say one prime minister. Listen. Him say one prime minister prosecute him. Listen, Siaga. Listen.
Political field. We have never run away from political battles.
He never run away from political, but at them did I look buckle. Nobody never did a buckle. Them are buckle people. You am telling in the 70s, he never run away from politics. Hear this. Okay.
He was quiet in his demeanor.
Go up more.
Attacks were then directed at Mr. Shearer. No one man, as I said, no one man lose an election, just as though no one man lose an election. Therefore, we all should take the blame if we lost an election. But not you, Lawson Shearer. They shouldn't kill you, Lawson. We stood and we fought relentlessly. During the state of emergency, when a lot of other people were being picked up and sent to detention, Ozzy Hardy and myself were out there as brothers in the field. We have never left each other on the political field. We have never run away from political battles. He was quiet in his demeanor and presentation, but I was the opposite to him. So we worked together throughout these things. When a lot of things went down, Hazy was the voice of reasoning, was the voice for justice in the Jamaica party and government. And one of the things that drew me closer to Hazy and to Marigold is during the 80s, in my darkest days, when I was at the end of the rope, as they stand strong, do not give up, stay and fight. When I was persecuted.
No, I hear him say by one prime minister. Yeah? Yeah. Imam Bruce, the one of them.
Persecuted by my own party, only 2 persons stood with me. My own party and my own government persecuted me in the 80s. 2 persons stood with me. And that was Hazy Harding and Dr. Percy Broderick. Against hope.
And Percy Broderick, under them 2 there. So Red Rat and the whole of them against him. Darrell Vaz, the whole of them against him. Douglas Vaz, himself 2 alone stand up with him. Listen.
All the pressure that came on them say, move away from him, do not associate yourself with him.
Them tell him, move away from him and do not associate. Can you imagine him there? And your own party, after you talk about where you're going with in the 70s, you want party no want you. I say, move away from him, don't associate yourself. He was a monster. He sound like he was a monster. I remember Sega the younger Dan. Listen this.
Those 2 stood for justice and for reason. And it's true as the Harding why I'm standing here today. It's true as the Harding why I'm here. The friendship, the guidance, the support I got from Hazy and Marigold. I can tell those 2, the love between them was made in heaven.
Made in heaven.
At the time, during my persecution, when I was kicked out of Parliament unceremoniously, and was driven out of the country where my own government, the Prime Minister and then his General Secretary cannot be employed in this country. True as the Harding.
You know what I'm saying? Can't invade in this country. By one prime, him kick out of Jamaica by one Prime Minister and General Secretary. Look who was the General Secretary with Siago them time when they kick him out. Yeah? He born everybody born Bruce, born the one of them in. He was a radical. Yeah. Him tell one thing but no, you see him? He may curse you, but it's a guy when he ready. If you, let me tell any one of them, when you catch them and them you hear the thing come out and them tell you what them do. Yeah, adapt with him. It come out. And you lie, you know. But then you hear him come up with something where he might blame all the people, when him doing blame. So Andrew play the CIA game, the JLP right now, where them blame PNP and tell people like that's all about. And everything where him say him do and achieve, Jamaican achieve nothing. Me I play something and tell you Jamaican achieve, but Big Mouth, they don't have to go away, you know. I'm apocalypse, you see Mouth. Yeah, him to go away, man. Yeah, you could have go and read state and tell people that Jamaica the most peaceful Caribbean island in a real life. So you don't really tell the people, Uncle Labor right to a don't listen to you, brother. Remember them have phone and everything now, them can look up the most peaceful island and them see it. You can't say these things. Nobody can stay at you up and write something and then you repeat it, fuck, that make it real. Who is so fucking stupid? Eh? That you are right, you look on the top stick in the island. From Cayman go right back. And you really say that? Look how much Jamaica live in the island. Why you not do that? Eh? You not discredit yourself. You not dark shit in a man. Eh? Yes. Continue.
I'm standing here today. Is it true as the Harding why I'm here? The friendship, the guidance, the support I got from Hazi and Marigold.
Yeah, Siaga put them out, listen.
I can tell those two, the love between them was made in heaven. At the time, during my persecution, one was kicked out of parliament unceremoniously and was driven out of the country where my own government, the Prime Minister and his General Secretary cannot be employed in this country. Ozzy Harding never left me.
The Prime Minister and General Secretary cannot be employed in this country. Them kick him out. Them kick him out. Siaga run him away. Siaga run him away, you know I'm not good enough. Siaga for running away, Siaga, what am I trying to do? When them try to drive upon Mandley, and the CIA, them try to drive upon Siaga now, I'm going to play dance ship, so Siaga run him away. Now the whole party run him away, said, nah, go work. Yeah. Continue.
Even when I went abroad, every day, every week, as the Harding and I would be on the phone. I came back, he encouraged me, he stood with me in politics.
And so it's so easy for them, him get exiled, but him have citizen. Because Reagan, they don't set them up. That's the truth. Because Reagan stop them for them, you know. Them could have go over there and live. Citizen, exile. Yeah? Him there up at the headquarters, a shower party in New York. And New York, they shower party there. Him send the day. New York in the day. Yeah.
When Ozzy was on his sick bed, you can rest assured that at least twice a week, I can get a call from Ozzy and we discuss everything. Because he knew I was persecuted for nothing. And the only sin I committed then, and as he spoke about it every day, I happened to have won a constituency that was ordained by God for a particular family. And I should not have been there. And that was why the Prime Minister then and the General Secretary took it on themselves to persecute me.
Yeah, so the Prime Minister then and the General Secretary, you know, say, yeah, him say, and then every labourer run him away. And just you want to see it. Him say by the Prime Minister, you know, listen, man, listen again, no, man. Me gonna play it back again, you know. You say by who? Listen, no, man.
And we discussed everything. Because he knew I was persecuted for nothing. And the only sin I committed then, and as he spoke about it every day, I happened to have won a constituency that was ordained by God for a particular family. And I should not have been there. And that was why the Prime Minister then and the General Secretary took it on.
You hear what I'm saying now? The Prime Minister and Siaga him say. The Prime Minister, not the 80s of Siaga. And the General Secretary, I look at who was General Secretary again. So I'm saying Siaga and the General Secretary.
Twice a week, I can get a call from Ozzy and we discuss everything. Because he knew I was persecuted for nothing. And the only sin I committed then, and as he spoke about it every day, I happened to have won a constituency that was ordained by God for a particular family. And I should not have been there. And that was why the Prime Minister then and the General Secretary took it on themselves to persecute me. And in my darkest day when I have two young children, one 2 years old and one was 6 months and I was kicked out, Ozzy was the only one on project stood with me, gave me encouragement. This is why I survived and we're here today. I hope
that's why I'm survived, because them exile him. That one bad.
all I have to Oswald Harding and Marigold Harding. They gave that to me and gave that strength to me. Ozzy was the longest serving senator, the longest serving president of the Senate.
So you hear say, when they say him all, hey, this serious when they say, come on, you know. I think politics are thing where going up for the serve to make the country better. In does something where it passed, you know, I play it back where I'm saying. I play it. Can never have nothing, you know, even when I'm come back. Hear this.
I have two young children, one 2 years old and one was 6 months and I was kicked out. Ozzy was the only one on project stood with me, gave me encouragement. This is why I survived and we're here today. I owe all I have to Oswald Harding and Marigold Harding.
Him owe all them have to them because of them make him have it. They make him come back, come gain, where him gain. Politics and gain things true, he never have nothing in the exile. Him just admit it, not my word. When you hear it, man, play it back. Remember him have both, him have this, him have that, him have everything. Them people are going to politics and lying themselves. That's how them fight I see. Not my word. If they get exiled by Siaga after the 70s, them not trust him. Yeah? Him own where him have to them. I want thing, when I get down, I'm thinking we can, yeah.
I can get a call from Ozzy and we discuss everything. Because he knew I was persecuted for nothing. And the only sin I committed then, and as I spoke about it every day, I happen to have won a constituency that was ordained by God for a particular family. And I should not have been there. And that was why the Prime Minister then and the General Secretary took it on themselves to persecute me.
I remember I'm not a boost for them way through, that I'm at the boost. So Prime Minister then and General Secretary and everybody running. See that?
And in my darkest day when I have two young children, one 2 years old and one was 6 months and I was kicked out. Ozzy was the only one on project who stood with me, gave me encouragement. This is why I survived and here today. I owe all I have to Oswald Harding and Marigold.
Oh! That means a politics scheme already have. They never end up serve in the first place. And I like somebody like Mark Gold Bill Field thing and that and a politics scheme that. Him all them have to him because I'm encouraging making come back, eh? And him come gain wealth. And when I have skin with him, me but I want to gain property. Him say it, him over him have to the man. Politics scheme these things.
They gave that to me and gave that strength to me.
Yeah.
Ozzy was the longest serving senator, the longest serving president of the Senate. He gave his all. When we had problems with parties those days, Ozzy was always there as a reasoned voice, a person for justice and honesty and honor. And we are proud of him, what he gave. As I said, he did it in this quiet way, ways opposite to our built. But we are grateful to Ozzy Harding. There are many today in government or in the party who don't know where it came from. I have no idea. But Ozzy Harding is the foundation. And he laid what the many today are at the end of the line, at the top of the line of receiving. Because of the work of Ozzy Harding, myself, Sticks and Hope, Peter Whitcomb and others. And today I'm honored to be standing here and speaking for someone who stood for justice, stood with me in my dark days, brought me through, encouraged me throughout my life in New York when I was exiled, and I came back, received me into his arms, and worked with me. I worked with him throughout his political life, so did he with me. And today, Marigold, I'm honored to stand here to speak, pay a tribute to this great Jamaican, this great man. Thanks for the privilege, Marigold. As my friend, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you.
Man dead, oh my God, Lord, I keep you. And bless you and keep when you're dead and no remembrance. I'll be a fuck you attack, you know. You can preach our dead body and tell you, when man life, if you say that, it's no bad. When the Lord bless you and keep you and shine him light upon you, and you're dead. Shine the light where you're under the ground. Man, think, man. Yeah, hey, them to go away, you know. Let me show you a little thing now where they really go on in Jamaica. Let me show you this fast. So CIA. So this is how them go on with. Him just come talk. Let me play about this. Watch out.
Party as its instrument in the entire campaign against the Michael Manley government. I'd say most of the violence was coming from the Jamaica Labour Party side, and behind them was the CIA in terms of getting the weapons in and getting the money in with all the propaganda guidance, because there was a steady stream, a continuous campaign of propaganda against the Manley government. The weapons, there was no problem with getting weapons in, because the ganja smuggling was a perfect route for bringing weapons back into Jamaica from the United States. The CIA would look upon the radical political content of reggae music as dangerous, because it would help to create a consciousness among poor people, among the great majority of Jamaicans. And of course, naturally, the climate was created for an attempt on Bob Marley's life.
Okay, so imagine the man that shoot Bob Marley and not play talk about one love, man. You can shoot me and come in your teeth, all the generation them are still like, hey, if you go here now. Yeah, your generation, Stephen Madden, I don't know why you meet and Joe this, and this is the part where shoot your father. And not CIA shoot him. CIA might have influence and want him to shoot, but if them reject that, them not shoot him. CIA will not put them in your place and come shoot to themselves. Them use operative in the place. That them do, you know. Them use who and that was, you know, the JLP. Them shoot by Mali. So even when them people from America tell us that the CIA them do, remember, them tell us that JLP them use and give them the gun. So you know them are the, you know, them want him because the thing has spread, but remember a JLP shoot him. And then they assassinate man, they them make 3 attempts, you know. And it failed 3.
The purpose of all those activities of violence and armed robbery and murder, coupled with the propaganda campaigns calling for the overthrow of the Manley government, naturally created a situation of terror, really, of tension, of uncertainty, of doubt, and fear.
You see the man, them, and it really is, you know, them can't deny it, you know. So it's not a party where you ramp with for the night and say, yes, and the JLP do what? You can turn and destroy yourself to get in a power. And then I wonder the hard in, you know, who am everything for everything we have. That means politics them going out and some barefoot nastiness them, you know. We're going to go rich. Not my word. See them I tell you that. You understand? Yes. See, I remember can't tell you this. Look here.
Jamaica with guns to destroy one alliance. Stay close, this gets darker. Hit follow before they convince you these islands never had power together. Picture the 1970s. Michael Manley in Jamaica pushing democratic socialism, Fidel Castro in Cuba already deep in revolution, and both of them looking at each other like we're stronger united than divided.
Yes.
You were taught the Cold War was just America versus Russia. I believed that too, until I learned Jamaica and Cuba created a radical axis that had the CIA working overtime to destroy both governments.
Yeah.
Cuba sent doctors, teachers, and construction workers to Jamaica for free.
You know what I say I got set for free? You know what I say I got say? I indoctrinate them and indoctrinate the peasants in the country. Man, and build place to do this. Cuban has sent gun. A doctor and teacher and you hear one with them send. And then come build place.
Jamaica became a voice for Cuban solidarity at the United Nations.
True.
They weren't just allies, they were brothers in arms against American imperialism.
True.
The U.S. couldn't let 2 black-led nations in the Caribbean build power together, so they funded opposition parties, flooded Jamaica with guns, and turned Kingston into a war zone to destabilize Manley. By 1980, the pressure worked. Manley lost the election, and the connection was severed. But for those few years, 2 small islands showed the world what Caribbean unity could look like, and that was too dangerous to let survive. Here's what I need to know. Why do you think America feared a Jamaica-Cuba alliance more than just Cuba alone? Do you believe the Caribbean could unite again, or is that dream dead? Did you know Jamaica and Cuba were ever this close? Comment your thoughts. Follow for the alliances.
Play next thing. Why does that?
Began to sound quietly. Then came Angola, and everything changed.
Watch this now, watch this.
An island, daring to say to American multinational corporations, "You are not taking our wealth for free anymore." The alarm bells in Washington began to sound quietly. Then came Angola, and everything changed. In 1975, Angola was fighting for its future.
Listen this.
3 rival liberation movements were competing for control of the country as Portuguese colonial rule collapsed. Cuba had backed the MPLA, the Marxist movement led by Agostinho Neto. South Africa, with CIA support, had backed Neto's rivals and launched a full military
South Africa up there, say, you know, Cuba gonna push them back, you know. Yes.
invasion from the south, its forces advancing 500 miles into Angolan territory toward the capital Luanda. If Luanda fell, apartheid South Africa would have a foothold in Central Africa. The consequences for the entire continent were staggering.
Yeah.
Cuba made what Manley would later call one of the bravest decisions in history. Fidel Castro deployed Cuban combat troops to Angola. They were not enough to stop the South Africans by themselves, but they were enough to force a confrontation that changed the calculation. The South African commanders, facing organized resistance, pulled back. Angola was saved. Nigo's government survived. Manley looked at what had happened and made a moral judgment. He saw Cuba as having stopped a white supremacist army from carving up an African nation. He supported Cuba's intervention openly and publicly. He told Kissinger directly, this was not anti-American politics. This was anti-apartheid. This was the side of freedom. Kissinger did not see it that way. And in the months that followed that December 1975 lunch at Jamaica House, Washington's relationship with Kingston entered a new and darker phase. The $100 million line of credit vanished. By March 1976, the U.S. press, led by prominent outlets with close ties to Kissinger, began running a sustained campaign of negative coverage about Jamaica.
Hey, so them man, hey, people, you see this? For your patriotic and you watch this, I know say Jamaica Labour Party at them at the heart of this. If you spread propaganda, you watch them and spread propaganda again. It show you off, it's mind blowing. If you see them, all them lie and say them government do this, and I use the same lie tactic. So the fuck are them go repent, them I use them. I'm me and them. Them are shit. I'm me and them. The same lie tactic and evil tactic them I use. And you own this. The fucker don't even learn something, you know. And understand, so when you bring up these lies and try to trick the people, then it ups story fire in other people like us. We go through this one way. Him don't know that, you know, because him take everybody for idiot. These things grieve me, you know, because when you're born and go in a place, and you see them allow as a sovereign nation, allow a next country to dictate and come in and kill our own people and burn down living title and kill much old people in there, you know, to just gain power, you know, and tell lie per man, but everything stand up. See them, I use those interests about and same thing. And then I live pan liar saying do this, but in most of the country fucked up. It hurt, man. Him to go, man. Continue play this.
Articles portrayed the island as violent, as slipping toward communism, as unsafe for tourists and investors.
So the whole of that was lie, and the same thing no matter about only the PMP to do this stuff, which a lie. Everything out time out a lie. Traffic was lie, him said the mother of all scandal. Then him come back with Finsack, where Finsack saved the country. Him himself tell us the Finsack farmer spend much money for bail out the bank, which it have to bail out the bank then. It must, if the whole country sink. So him attack a bullshit. You understand? Continue.
American travelers stopped coming. Tourism revenues collapsed. The foreign exchange crisis that had already been tightening around Jamaica's throat now became a stranglehold. And in the dark corners, where governments do things they do not want history to record, something far more dangerous was being assembled. For years, the destabilization of Jamaica in the 1970s was dismissed as conspiracy theory, as the paranoid accusations of a leftist government looking for someone to blame for its own failures. But the documents do not lie. Beginning in 1975, the CIA launched what declassified records now confirm was an extensive and sophisticated covert operation against the Manley government. The operation did not end with one administration. It was started under Henry Kissinger and continued and expanded by Zbigniew Brzezinski, President Carter's national security advisor, making clear this was not a rogue operation. It was official American policy. A document dated July 21, 1980, written by National Security Council staff member Robert Pastor to Brzezinski, and later declassified, laid out the full scope of what the CIA had been doing in Jamaica. The document described a covert campaign that included funding media organizations to spread anti-Manley propaganda, directly financing the opposition Jamaica Labour Party.
So that grief, I truly don't know, you know. Blood I run cold and see them come up with them fucking lie, you know. The whole of them with the same CI to sell the country like this. And I tell you, choose Jamaica, them is a setup. If I'm here, I could go into politics, you know. Because me and them make me get rid of the whole of them, you know. The whole of them have to go to prison. I try them for treason. Whole of them and them picnic. Them are shit. You understand? You sell out the country and fuck up the country again and you come back with the lie thing. The same CIA thing you run under. Be lies. Eh? This is evil, man. Evil. Forget power. You work with CIA and CIA, the Jamaica Labour Party. And I first them do evil to the people, you know. You couldn't say about Norman man, the night that Michael man, they tell the kids them to go to school. You think man that get up and say rather than 15 years to picnic and put water gun. You can't go to prison for water gun. And then go on and chat, fuck you, I tell you something good. Uncle Labour right alone, them can't chat. Read that Labour right. Because the one them work, they have sensible Labour right now in this shit. You don't make party trick you. They are not patriotic. They are shits. See? The document declassified and them read it too. Them the one Labour right colleagues them read it, you know. It's so stained propaganda and everything and from the Jamaica Labour Party. The amount of people dead under them watch. Eh? And them appear themselves, no, Andrew, take up the same CIA fuckery and come tell lie. Let me tell you something, Andrew. The same time me I write song and me I do a show, not even my show. When me do a show like now, me no look for my show. Me do a next show, because me not tell a lie in my thing. So me not have to look when me talk and say something to do a next show. Me just continue the shows. See, and if you connect them connect. You know, you tell lie around this and you can't put the show. Because when you come truthful like this and dissect, you have to watch back the show for what? No. Because by a man and me do a show and by a even me do a next show. You think, you know, you're write something about road. You see a right speech and you go look for Pattis's speech over 30 years. You go back in 1994. You go into the 70s and write speech after this. That's to show you say you're not real, brother. Because you could not write a speech and then you have to go back and look for over 30 years. And until they say Patterson say the same thing about road and you're going to fix road and you're going to come with spark. That will show you what kind of thing you run, brother. You're not real. When me I do tune and me write a tune, me never going to listen back a tune for write a tune, brother. Me not do these things. Me not, you know, me's a different man. Me just continue with my shows and everything. Me have something to do. Me see when I'm going with me dissect that. This, I actually don't know how I feel when I watch this, you know. Eh? For you know, so you have people who are born in the country. So, and of them see when I call a Jamaican man only about white man and gay. So, the fuck of them sell out the country. Oh, you get up and even sell your fucking vote for these shits. Oh, you do that. I don't know. Oh, you say you're PNP, but you know this and then you say you flip. And then you itch up with Labour right and do fuckery. You're a piece of shit, Thomas. Eh? You can have these nastiness. And I like them Queenie, them still about in the bush, them about same way. The man, them about same way. And you itch up with them. And destroy the country. No, them do the same kind of PR when me I watch the fuck them do. You know, they spread rumors. Oh, the PNP. Oh, them sign a contract. Me say a big dirty thinking put vase. The thing they on your watch. And you talk about PNP sign contract. If it all go up and blame PNP. Them for run your way, man. Them for run your way, man. Yeah, shit, brother. If you go, man. Yes? The thing they on your watch and when you talk, that make no sense. Man, they tear up the backside contract and give them and force purchase and put on a levy and use the money on the place. You know, you stink. If you fuck off, you're a shit. Continue play this. This grieve me. Continue.
Providing the JLP's leadership with strategic political guidance, funding, and influencing the Jamaican military and police, and using an international network of covert assets to publicly condemn Manley's ties to Cuba and the support by Zbigniew Brzezinski, President Carter's national security advisor, making clear this was not a rogue operation. It was official American policy. A document dated July 21, 1980, written by National Security Council staff member Robert Pastor to Brzezinski, and later declassified, laid out the full scope of what the CIA had been doing in Jamaica.
People hear the full scope, yeah?
The document described a covert campaign that included funding media organizations to spread anti-manly propaganda, directly financing the opposition Jamaica Labour Party, providing the JLP's leadership with strategic political guidance, funding and influencing the Jamaican military and police, and using an international network of covert assets to publicly condemn Manley's ties to Cuba and the Soviet Union. Read that again. The United States government was paying Jamaican media to tell Jamaican people what to think. It was funding the political party running against the elected government. It was advising that party on how to win. And it was doing all of this while publicly denying any involvement in Jamaica's internal affairs. In July 1980, an editor from the Washington-based Covert Action Information Bulletin held a press conference in Kingston and publicly identified 15 Americans by name, address, and vehicle license plate as CIA agents operating in Jamaica. 2 days later, the home of the man identified as the CIA station chief in Kingston was bombed and shot.
You remember man they talk about this? Man they say, listen, what happen? Them bring something and then you have a man and then something happen and then them go home and then the place are filled with news people and then place are locked down and tourists stop come. Him say it, you know, can they get the intelligence? Him they say it, and it happened. It happens. You never tell about it, yeah.
That. Within weeks, the families of at least 6 of the 15 identified agents had quietly left the island. Former CIA case officer Philip Agee stated on the record that the CIA supplied arms to supporters of the Jamaica Labour Party. And the evidence suggests the political...
Yeah, when name people got this in the declassified documents. Yeah, him tell us them give them arms and give them
station chief in Kingston was bombed and shot at. Within weeks, the families of at least 6 of the 15 identified agents had quietly left the island. Former CIA case officer Philip Agee stated on the record that the CIA supplied arms to supporters of the Jamaica Labour Party. And the evidence suggests the political violence that turned Jamaican streets into war zones was not simply organic. It was watered. What was the CIA actually afraid of? The declassified documents reveal something that goes deeper than communism. According to the State Department records, American policymakers were alarmed by the way Manley's democratic socialism was highlighting class distinctions and empowering black...
Oh, okay. So you see, but so them don't want the class distinction. Yeah? And I'm going to show them. Because remember, that mean the same, so come on to talk about South Africa too, you know. And what them do to we as black people until they say how much years and all we get is whip. Whip. Yeah, I'll get it whip. Mr. Michael E. that come out and say Siaga, a Syrian. When you take down that, no Syrian name Siaga, by the way, none, not even one. You know, it's a English name, Siaga. And then the Siaga, them live down in South Africa, the white one, them right now, and them thing there. Come from in America. They say, when I talk, when I stop talking bullshit now. But ultimately, him look like Syrian too, no? Siaga white man. Even Pum Vals, them no black, you know. Them a white smaddy, you know. Him father this and him going to look on him man. Yeah? So when you can't stay there, look on him woman there. Wood Vals. She look like somebody black too, no? Just look on her ear, look on everything past she. She and she's not in there, she's a white smaddy. Yeah? About that time, my Ken no black neither. Yeah? Alright. Teach you something. Yeah? Man, they talk about these things. So this, you hear what them talk about? Man, they say for give black people, you know, him change it enough for the black and the poor, you know. Yeah? Them did I worry about that too, you know. Yes.
American policymakers were alarmed by the way Manley's democratic socialism was highlighting class distinctions and empowering black Jamaicans. They feared this model could spread across the Caribbean. The threat was not a Soviet missile base. The threat was the idea itself. The idea that a black Caribbean nation could redistribute wealth, reclaim its resources, and stand as an equal among nations.
Oh, you see it. So them have that, although them spread them propaganda. Because of that man did you know. You ever stand up on your foot as a black man, you know, about, right? And him tell us him alter the balance in favor of the black and the poor. Him tell about the leper, while South Africa can fight against apartheid. Yeah, him fight against apartheid too, you know. And putting things for beneficial, to benefit the black. So when you couldn't go to school, them free thing, even Sykes. Yeah, even Sykes. Right? Come and tell us whether because of Manley and the free education. And the world have enough much of a benefit of a free education. See? Yeah. You understand? And this is what him do. So when we see even Andrew understand the respect now, come off a Manley now, like him have finished doing the CIA do. Everybody for born him run him where him too stinking himself. Him too stink. Nobody no like him for that, you know. Him too stink because I don't know if him think him can trick people with words. That's because you see some man go run and trick woman with those words. And then leave them man this and leave this and start some low life. Yeah? And get tricked. You don't do that. Yeah, you can't trick nobody with words when I dissect it and show them say you're bullshit. See? This is what I stand for, you know. I stand for the poor and needy and born rich and greedy, you know. Yes? Yes. So hear this.
If Jamaica proved it was possible, who would be next?
Oh.
Barbados, Trinidad, Guyana. The dominoes the United States feared in the 1970s Caribbean were not communist regimes. They were liberated black peoples. Back in Kingston, Michael Manley was trying to hold his dream together while the floor fell away beneath him. The economic situation by the mid-1970s was genuinely dire, and this is where honesty about Manley demands we hold two truths at the same time. The CIA's destabilization campaign was real, and the Jamaican economy was also being damaged by Manley's own decisions. The two things are not mutually exclusive. Inflation, which had been 8.2% in 1972, exploded to 26.9% in 1973 alone, partly driven by the global oil crisis. Manley had no domestic energy reserves. Every barrel of oil Jamaica needed came from abroad, and after OPEC's 1973 embargo, the prices were punishing. Foreign exchange reserves, which had stood at a positive $239 million when Manley took office, were hemorrhaging. Investment collapsed. Savings fell. Unemployment climbed toward 27%. Manley's social programs were humane and necessary, but they were expensive, and they were being funded by deficit spending in a country that could not afford to run deficits. The bauxite levy helped, but bauxite prices also declined in this period. The math was not working. And Manley, faced with a choice between dismantling his programs or going to the International Monetary Fund for a bailout, chose the IMF. That choice came with devastating conditions. A 30% devaluation of the Jamaican dollar, massive cuts to public spending, layoffs of thousands of public workers. The austerity that followed hit the very people Manley had promised to protect. This is the complicated truth of Michael Manley. He was a visionary who saw what capitalism had done to this island and what it would continue to do if left unchallenged. He was a man of genuine moral courage who stood in front of the most powerful diplomat in the world and refused to betray his principles for $100 million. He was also a leader who sometimes outran his economic capacity, who made policy decisions that had real costs, who at moments let his idealism move faster than the structures that needed to support it. He was not a saint. He was a human being trying to do something extraordinary in circumstances designed to make it impossible. And through all of it, he maintained something that is rarer in politics than any economic statistic. He kept his dignity. In 1976, with violence erupting across Kingston, with CIA-funded guns flowing into garrison communities, with the economy tightening and the media calling him a dictator, Manley declared a state of emergency, arrested those he believed were plotting to destabilize the country, and called elections. He stood on the platform of the People's National Party and told the crowd, "We are not for sale." The crowd erupted. The December 1976 election, held while the state of emergency was still in effect, returned the PNP to power with 47 seats to the JLP's 13. Despite everything, despite the guns, the propaganda, the economic pressure, the people of Jamaica had voted for Michael Manley again. Washington had not succeeded. Not yet.
You don't say that yet? So, 73, when the crisis come out, 73, tell us how man won't could manage it because he didn't have say everything they go. Man, they didn't manage that, you know. I managed 76 and put in all these things. He never take them money neither, you know. Because him said them can't keep them money if them do them look for foolishness. I want some demand, but them come do some evil things. Yes, him look when man they leave out of power, look on the value of the money. And look on the value of the money today. Yeah? You could have become no shot. It's all when them are going. Yeah, different from the people them on the road after black. Then they get back normal after the election, you know. You go about your business and everything, you know. When you go back to the other election now, them start to them garbage again even wickeder. But not even tell and do all kind of things. These things don't come out of here. These things don't come out of here. Man, them terrible. See the man them they take on a plane at you know. Cuban plane, you know. Look at.
6th of October.
The bombing of Cubana Flight 455.
The Barbados government took this incident very seriously. The terrorist incident took place on the 6th of October, a very important day in Barbados.
Wednesday, October the 6th, 1976, dawned like a regular Wednesday in Barbados. It was a day that held great promise for the island. A few weeks earlier, the nation had completed a period of political campaigning which saw the election of the Barbados Labour Party government led by Tom Adams. The new cabinet members had taken the oath of office and had started their ministerial work. However, on this day in question, attention was focused on our historic capital.
Because there had just been a very historic change of government, and the new administration was having its first parliamentary sitting.
It was the official opening of Parliament, where the then acting Governor-General Sir William Douglas was poised to deliver what was known then as the throne speech.
To outline the policy of the new government. So the whole of Barbados was focused on that, 6th of October.
This session of our new Parliament commenced just over half an hour ago. Well, it's more than that now. And it now falls to me to outline my government's programme for the new parliamentary session.
Meanwhile, at the airport in Barbados, it seems to be a regular Wednesday with workers preparing for the arrival and departure of flights, including Cubana 455. Cubana de Aviación Flight 455 was a regular scheduled flight between Guyana and Havana with stops at Piarco International Airport in Trinidad, Sewell International Airport.
Don't plane if it never blow up. When it does flies up in Jamaica, that blow up, you know. CIA take down this too, you know. And kill all the athletes, them, Cuba athletes, them dead off in this, you know.
Airport in Barbados and Kingston Norman Manley International Airport in Jamaica. On this day in question, a 15-year-old Douglas DC-8 registered CU-T1201 was in use.
Ricky Clark, a local employee of another airline, had been a passenger on that flight when it arrived in Barbados approximately 45 minutes earlier. We came up from Guyana through Trinidad to Barbados on a very smooth ride, he said. The weather was good, and the people on board were quite friendly. They were mostly young people, and we engaged in friendly chats all the way on the flight. I can hear them now, talking at one time in English, at another in Spanish. I can hear the students talking of how many languages they can speak. I can hear the laughter.
A Barbadian nurse, Sheila Harris, who was at the time working with the QEH, was booked to travel on Cubana Flight 455 to Jamaica for medical attention. While she was preparing to make her way to the airport, she received an important call which gave her reason to divert and make a stop at the hospital before proceeding to the airport.
She said, "Would you please bring all your documents?" I said, "What kind of documents you're talking about?" She said, "Your house and land paper." I said, "For what? But you have copies of them." She said, "Please do as I asked." And I carried them over to her.
Nurse Sheila Harris missed that flight. It is just after 1 p.m. The plane is given clearance to taxi the runway for taking off to Kingston, Jamaica, then on to its final destination, Havana, Cuba.
Cubana 455, Roger, clear to start, temperature 30.
We know that on board were 57 Cuban nationals, 24 of whom were athletes on Cuba's gold medal fencing team. We know that there were 11 Guyanese nationals, 9 of whom were students who had been awarded government scholarships and who were traveling to Havana to pursue studies in medicine. We know that there were 5 citizens of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, but what we did not know was that the tentacles of international terrorism had reached our shores. At approximately 8 minutes into the flight and at an altitude of 1,800 feet, a bomb exploded on board the plane, starting a fire. The passengers then lived the most horrifying 10 minutes of their lives as the plane turned into a scorching coffin. Captain Wilfredo Perez's radio to the control tower, the cockpit voice recorder, captured the last terrifying moments of Cubana Flight 455 at 1:24 p.m. Meanwhile, at Sewell International Airport, Pat Callender was the acting deputy airport manager.
I was talking to Allman, a controller called Allman, and he suddenly announced, told me, hold on, Cubana is going down, because the Cubana aircraft, I'd seen it on the ramp, they had taken off, it was a DC, and then he told me it was going down, so I knew that the airplane had taken off. But when he told me it was going down, I still was a little puzzled. So then he said came back and he told me there was an explosion on board the aircraft and the pilot is trying to get back to Barbados. He said, "I'll call you back."
The time is 1724.
Cubana 455, Sierra. Okay, Sierra, Cubana 455. We're requesting immediately landing. Cubana 455, you're clear to land.
The captain tried returning the plane to Sewell, but its passengers and crew were already doomed.
Roger. Cierra la puerta.
The time is 1727.
Cubana 455, you're full emergency. On standby.
As the plane approached the shores, it was rapidly losing altitude and control. Rather than crashing into the Paradise Beach and killing those on the ground, the pilot courageously banked the plane towards the water back out to sea, where it crashed in a ball of fire.
The time is 1.
Then when he did call back, he told me they'd lost contact with the aircraft. So at that point, I went into Gibbons. I said, but we have to call the Prime Minister. He's responsible for national security, and this is something that, we could never imagine.
At that time, it was the first mid-air bombing of a civilian airliner in the Western Hemisphere.
So he gave me permission to call the clerk of
First time terrorists take it down, and I see I did this,
Parliament. And the clerk of Parliament, like any good civil servant, he said,
did that come to Jamaica? Yeah, a good thing in Jamaica to explode. The guy, them put it on, but then higher. Them did have them in the UA, a painting them going on in the 70s,
But, Adams was attending his first opening of Parliament, and the acting Governor General was Sir William Randolph Douglas.
Interestingly enough, while this is occurring, Barbadians sitting in the Parliament building and those following via the media were learning from civilian Douglas that the name Sewell International Airport was to be changed to Grantley Adams International Airport,
which my government considers marks a first move to honor an outstanding Barbadian, will be put in motion right away.
This big ceremony, so he didn't want to go interrupt him. So I had to more or less threaten him. I said, well, at least I'm going to give you a little note to give the Prime Minister, because he was even reluctant to do that. But I gave him a little note, and he gave it to the Prime Minister, and then he called me back a few minutes later and told me that the Prime Minister is on the way to the airport.
Meanwhile, Sheila Harris has reached her destination at the QEH.
And the minute I got into her office, she never even had time to tell me have a seat. Her telephone rang, and she just went and answered it. And she said, that was Seaway just called to find out if you were on the flight. The plane just went down. And the adrenaline in our body, I walked the same time.
Shortly after the crash, a flotilla of small boats led by Coast Guard launches set out in search of survivors. But all they found was a spreading patch of oil, some floating debris, and the occasional badly mutilated body which they took ashore at the Harbour Police Pier in Bridgetown.
And I went down there with her, and I picked up body parts, a man's arm, like that, the phalanges all down here, full of tattoos, and a child hand with a little finger ring and ID bracelet. I don't know whether it's a woman or a girl or a boy. And then I went back into the stage I was in.
Officials investigating the crash said they suspected that the aircraft might have been sabotaged. Their suspicion tied in with an anonymous phone call to a Miami newspaper that a bomb was put on board the plane by Cuban exiles. The sabotage theory was further supported by reports of an in-flight explosion. The plane was on its way from Guyana to Cuba via Trinidad, Barbados, and Jamaica. Shortly after takeoff from Barbados, the captain radioed that he was in difficulty. According to the Sewell Control Tower, as it was then called, he was apparently trying to return to Barbados when the aircraft plunged into 900 feet of water 3.5 miles off the coast of the island. It was almost 3 hours after the crash when the first badly mutilated bodies were brought ashore.
You got on a boat, you insisted that you go on this boat, so you just felt the need to go in the boat down to on the sea to collect. Yes,
I had to pick up body parts, and they was putting them in a big modest box and take them back to QEH Mall. And when I got home, I couldn't eat. It really affected me.
The plane was carrying 62 Cubans, of whom 23 were crew members, 11 Guyanese, and 5 North Koreans. The victims included the Cuban fencing team, which was returning home from Caribbean Youth Championships in Caracas, where it won all 8 gold medals.
So eventually when Adams came up there, and I told him, well, if something has happened here, the people who did it would probably be foreigners. We didn't use the word expatriates then. And they will try to get out of the island, I believe, as soon as possible.
The 2 men who had placed the bombs on the aircraft, 2 Venezuelans, Freddy Lugo and Ricardo Lozano, they had gotten off the plane in Barbados. They somehow managed to get on a BWIA flight later that night, the night of the 6th, while Barbados was in consternation over the Cubana tragedy, and they made it back to Trinidad. Somehow the airport authorities in Barbados did not pick them up when they were getting on that flight to Trinidad. However, they subsequently discovered that these two men had absconded the island. They were able then to relay that information to the authorities in Trinidad.
The message was sent through, and the police acted right away. The airport was temporarily closed. They checked everybody there, then who had left the airport.
And early in the morning of the 7th, the Trinidad police were able to arrest both of them at the Holiday Inn Hotel in Trinidad. So that's the 7th. The Barbados government took this incident very seriously.
But Adams was very decisive. He gave instructions right away.
In fact, immediately after the downing of the aircraft, the Civil Aviation Division of Barbados launched a civil aviation investigation into what had happened. But even more importantly, the Barbados police launched their own investigation. And on the 9th of October, then Senior Superintendent Orville Durant, top-notch detective, was sent to Trinidad to get involved in the investigation with Lozana and Freddie Lugo, who were...
By the way, I know, listen, I had them, I CIA do it, Come let me for go no day. I say I can get the next part. I say I put up the next part. But when I do them show you, and them show yes, my virgin's a learning channel, yes. I say, hey, them that come to Jamaica, good thing not drop at Jamaica. Say, hey, take it down to kill them Cuban, they kill everybody. And that. CIA, same time as 76 them do this. See? Let me say for the one I have CIA, reject CIA, Barbados flight. Let me see this. Cuban flight, all right. Me look back for the other part. But at Cuba, because I think Cuban flight. I'm look for it. Let me see that one now. For that bomb, all right. Remembrance. Okay. Let me see if I was showing me the show. Cuban flight bomb. All right. Tourists. Let me see how I was trying to get me the show to cover for the one.
After the tragic bombing of Cubana Airlines Flight 455, the waters of Paynes Bay remain a symbol of both grief and solidarity. Diplomats from Cuba, Guyana, and CARICOM joined Barbadians in paying tribute to the pilot and 72 passengers whose lives were lost just miles from this very shore. Ambassador Wayne McCook, Assistant General Secretary for CARICOM Single Market and Trade, said the ceremony was a reminder that the Caribbean remains firm in its stand against terrorism and injustice.
We must remember and reflect upon that tragic moment in our history. And in so doing,
next day, the 10th of October, the Barbados government brought to Barbados a very highly qualified British expert in explosives, because there was still some uncertainty as to what had actually happened. So there was a suspicion.
Let me just pause 1 minute, because them things are good for you know. Oh, when you have a country, you have a prime minister where them can paint and demonize and, the CIA and them touch. You were born on an island. You have to be patriotic. No guy come tell me about choose the Jamaican thing and then I play the same role where Andrew play with the lies and deceitfulness. This thing hurt me because I know my history. and I save the footage that we can show these things. You understand? No care which country. If you're American, you betray your country like that, they might charge you for treason. You get electricity a long time. You understand? You know, betray the Labour Party itself without Queenie and the one of them which are charged for treason, But me say I need food coming and talk about me for charge for treason for the what? She be charged for treason too. She just even say it. She's a piece of shit. Let me continue.
You know, an explosion had taken place, but they needed to do the scientific investigation. So Mr. Newton, he came to Barbados on the 10th. By the 14th of October, just a little over 1 week after the downing of the plane, the acting Governor General of Barbados established a commission of inquiry into the incident. He appointed Supreme Court Judge Justice Denise Williams to head the commission of inquiry. There were 3 commissioners, a Mr. Thomas Went and a Mr. William Howes, in addition to Justice Williams. Mr. Durant, having conducted his investigations in Trinidad, then went to Caracas. And fortunately, Barbados had established an embassy in Venezuela, in Caracas, just 2 years prior, in 1974. So with the assistance of the then Charge d'Affaires, Dr. Carl Watson, Mr. Durant was able, Senior Superintendent Durant, was able to carry out quite an effective investigation in Venezuela. He secured, with the help of the Venezuelan authorities, much documentary evidence taken from the workplaces and the homes of Freddy Lugo and Ricardo Lozano in Venezuela. Then Mr. Senior Superintendent Durant went back to Trinidad by the 20th of October. By then, there was a major conference in Trinidad involving the nations of Trinidad and the governments of Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Cuba, Guyana, and Venezuela, to determine which country had jurisdiction over the event and where the culprits or the suspects should be tried. Unfortunately, it took them some time to resolve that. Eventually, it was decided that the trials would take place in Venezuela. In the meantime, Barbados pushed ahead with the Commission of Inquiry. The commissioners invited the governments of Cuba, obviously the country that was operating the airline, the country in which the airline was registered, Canada, because the Cubans had in fact hired the airline from Canada, the United States, because the airline had been manufactured in the United States, and of course Guyana and Venezuela. So they invited them to participate in the Commission of Inquiry, to have accredited representatives if they deem fit. The first session of the Commission of Inquiry took place on the 28th of October at the No. 1 Supreme Court in Bridgetown. On that same date, Lozano and Lugo were transported from Trinidad to Caracas. So the Commission of Inquiry started with substantive hearings on the 8th of November. And those hearings went on virtually on a daily basis until the 3rd of December. So approximately 1 month of actual hearings and taking of evidence. And so the point is that Barbados took this very seriously and was, showed a lot of, integrity in how it investigated this incident. I have here the copy of the report of the Commission of Inquiry. This report was actually published in March of 1977. Of course, long before then, the commissioners had given their report to the Governor General, but this is the report that was published for public consumption. So it's a 101-page report, and a lot of people seem to have forgotten that we had such a commission of inquiry. I've made some photocopies of the relevant sections of the report, and I'd just like to maybe quote some of the important findings for you. So, having heard all the evidence, the commissioners came to the following findings. 1, the flight crew members were properly licensed and qualified for the flight. 2, the pilots carried out their flight duties in a professional manner. No actions of theirs could have averted this tragedy. 3, the aircraft were certificated and maintained in accordance with approved procedures. 4, an explosive device was detonated in the rear of the passenger cabin during flight. 5, a fire caused by the explosive device produced toxic gases which eventually incapacitated the flight crew. 6, the possibility of a second explosion cannot be discounted. 7, the aircraft crashed into the sea after the incapacitated pilots lost control. And then they go on to give an ultimate cause. The Commission of Inquiry determines that the cause of the loss of this aircraft and its occupants was the detonation of an explosive device at the rear of the cabin, which initiated an uncontrollable fire, producing toxic gases, resulting in eventual incapacitation of the pilots. So that was the ultimate cause. And, you know, back then, we're talking 1976, commercial aircraft, perhaps enough thought had not been given to what kind of material should be allowed in the interior of a commercial aircraft. So you had material in these aircraft that, if it caught fire, produced toxic gases. And this was perhaps the greatest contributor to the tragedy. Were it simply for the explosion, were it not for the fact that the fire produced burnt material inside the cabin and that produced toxic gases, the plane might very well have made it back to Sewell Airport. The commissioners also went on to make recommendations because they were carrying out an inquiry not simply into a criminal terrorist act, but also they were carrying out a civil aviation inquiry. And so they went on to make these important recommendations. The Commission of Inquiry recommends that the government of Barbados brings the following items formally to the attention of the International Civil Aviation Organization for dissemination to member states. B, research and regulatory action should be expedited to develop and require the use of materials in aircraft cabins that do not support combustion and do not produce toxic gases when exposed to high temperatures. That was a very important recommendation, because I think you will find that today the material that is used in the interior of commercial aircraft is of a nature that if a fire takes place, it will not produce toxic gases. So Barbados probably made a very significant contribution to civil aviation. C, the criteria for the certification of large commercial aircraft should include requirements for a positive means of smoke removal, particularly from the cockpit area. That was, again, significant because a big part of the difficulty that they had when the explosion took place was the smoke and the inability to get the smoke out of the cabin. So those are some of the recommendations. I think another aspect of the report that might be of some interest is they went on to consider alleged American involvement, because at the very outset.
Want to listen to part now, that's how you notice me not saying nothing, I make it when you hear. Yeah, Maureen, me say one thing. Yeah, Richard, yes, Gillian. Yeah, these things I want to know, and I never know, say, them take down the Cuba, kill the Cuban, them and kill so much people. If that come to Jamaica, could I drop a Jamaica? Can man that come over now? Can we fly from Barbados? So most fly nearer to Hispaniola, they say, we can look down in it. Yeah, I fly just sneak out to the water, to the edge. Circle, come across, and I'm around here for circle, come land. So you could have dropped anywhere there, so if they were exploding over there, so you could have dropped in a St. Thomas, or drop in a Kingston and St. Andrew, or anywhere there, so. Can you imagine the death? That's why it explode there, so. So 76. Continue. Hear this. Hear this.
Of the inquiry, the Cuban representative, Cuba assigned a representative to represent Cuba, the government of Cuba, at the inquiry, as did the United States of America. And the Cuban representative, Senor Martinez, took the position at the very outset that the United States should not be permitted to take part in the inquiry because there was a lot of evidence to the effect that they were implicated in some manner. The Commission did not accept the Cuban argument and permitted the Americans to be represented. But in their report, they included a segment in which they looked at alleged American involvement. And after surveying the relevant evidence, they conclude with this paragraph, and I'll just read the part of the concluding paragraph, and I quote, "In our view, an overall assessment of the evidence provides some ground for asserting that Lozano and Lugo did visit the American embassy on October 6. This is the American embassy in Bridgetown. There was no attempt to lead evidence in contradiction, and no explanation for any such visit was given." So what that is referring to is the evidence of two Barbadian taxi drivers who testified. One taxi driver testified that it was he who picked up these two men from Sewell Airport. Remember, these men get on the Cubana flight in Trinidad. The flight flies to Barbados. Either somewhere along that journey from Trinidad to Barbados, or when the plane lands on the tarmac at Sewell Airport in Barbados, they plant these bombs in the cabin. They get off the plane in Barbados, and the taxi driver testifies that he picked up these two men and transported them to Bridgetown, and that when he got to the Wharf Road, he inquired of them where in Bridgetown they wanted him to drop them off. And they said to the embassy. And he took them right in front. The building in which the U.S. Embassy was housed at that time. So that was one taxi driver.
I'm going to finish this, you know. Very interested. Them are history. Them have to learn them things. I'm going to have foolishness with them. You understand? Look up that one taxi driver. So when them go to Barbados, plant the bomb, them come off and them go there. So I'm going to finish this. We have to continue. And you happen to them, man, you know, that I one taxi driver. So when them done, them came off. Because the clouds of Africa blew up, you know. Them come off of the flight and them do that. Hear this now. Hear this.
They then made their way from Bridgetown to the Holiday Inn Hotel. They checked in at the Holiday Inn. And a second taxi driver testifies that later in that evening, somewhere around about going on to 5 o'clock, these two men contracted his services to take them into Bridgetown. And they said to him that they were going back to the American Embassy.
Okay.
So he testified that Broad Street was blocked off because of the official opening of Parliament. But so he went up to Fontabelle, the area of the Advocate, and he dropped them off as close as he could to the American Embassy. But they had said to him that they were going back to the American Embassy.
Okay.
So hence that portion of the Commission of Inquiry's report, in which the Commission of Inquiry finds that there was very good ground for asserting that they did visit the American Embassy on the 6th of October. Some years ago, I produced this book on the Cubana. I call it the Cubana story. And I just want to quote to you, I have an essay in the book, and I want to quote to you the concluding, one of the concluding paragraphs of that essay, an essay entitled The Journey from Terror to Love and Life. And I quote, "Almost 30 years after the tragic events of 6th October 1976, Mr. Ricardo Alarcón, the President of Cuba's National Assembly of People's Power, paid the ultimate compliment to the governments and people of Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago when he publicly stated that, and I quote, Barbados and Trinidad, it must be said, acted with great dignity and honor," end of quote. And he acknowledged the, quote, meticulous, rigorous, serious investigation done by people who respect themselves, people from countries that are small, but which know how to respect their sovereignty, end of quote. That statement makes me feel very proud that the Cuban people had such respect for the efforts made by the Barbadian authorities to investigate this matter in a very serious way. Also making me very proud is the fact that the government of Barbados in 1998 established that monument to the 73 victims, the 57 Cubans, the 11 Guyanese, and the 5 North Koreans who perished. That monument at Paynes Bay. And you know, I learned from Dame Billy Miller the genesis of that monument, that as Foreign Minister of Barbados, she had paid a visit to Cuba, and she had gone into the Museum of the Revolution in Cuba, and she saw this massive photograph of a massive meeting in Cuba's Revolutionary Square being addressed by Fidel.
En la destrucción del avión de Cubana en Barbados.
And when she asked the Cubans, well, what was this meeting all about? Because it was reputed to be the single largest public meeting ever held in Cuba. A crowd of over 1 million people. And she was informed, well, that was the meeting that was held the day after the 6th of October Cubana tragedy. And Dame Billy said to me, it was then that she really got to understand what a significant event this had been in the life of the Cuban people. And she came away from that experience with the resolve that Barbados had to construct a memorial to the victims.
We dedicate this monument to those who lost their lives on the sea, our shores. Grant them eternal rest. Comfort their relatives and friends who continue to feel pain each year or each moment when they remember. May today's ceremony deepen our faith in goodness, because in spite of the tragic loss of life, here we are remembering and paying respect to those who innocently died. May today's ceremony remind us of the destruction that selfishness and violence cause. So we commend this monument to you. May people, when they see it, remember not only those who died, but the call to be peacemakers.
This evening's occasion is a time for healing. It affords us an opportunity to put a brutish episode behind us forever, to look to a future of peace, a new dawn of such international understanding that men will be moved to beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Barbados will always remember, and may their souls rest in peace.
Señor Primer Ministro Owen Arthur.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister Owen Arthur.
Gracias, hermanos de Barbados.
Thank you, brothers and sisters from Barbados.
Gracias, hermanos antillanos.
Thank you, Antillean brothers and sisters.
Gracias, compatriotas del mundo.
Thank you, brothers and sisters of the world.
The Caribbean Sea has claimed the mortal remains of most of the passengers of Flight 455. They are gone, but not forgotten. Today, we honor and remember them all. This monument will be a lasting reminder, not of cowardly acts of terrorism or mutilated bodies, but of bonds forged among four nations, by businessmen, a sports team, students, an airline crew, and ordinary citizens. It will also be a beacon of bright hope for the future.
And so, every year we go there on the 6th of October to pay our respects.
As part of its constitution, Cuba has ratified its condemnation and rejection of terrorism in all its forms. And indeed, Cuba has maintained a manifestly clear and transparent position in the fight against terrorism.
And I'm so proud as well that in 2022, Barbados was able to produce a resolution to CARICOM calling on CARICOM and Cuba.
You say resolution to CARICOM. CARICOM, our man they created, but man they founded, The man three other leaders, CARICOM. Yes. Michael Mandy,
To designate the 6th of October CARICOM Cuba Day Against Terrorism. And that was agreed to by both the leadership of CARICOM and the leadership of Cuba. And so every year now, we commemorate this day, not just as a day that is significant to Cuba and Barbados and Guyana, North Korea, Trinidad and Tobago, but a day that is of significance to the entire region. And I hope that someday we will go from simply a CARICOM Cuba Day Against Terrorism to a United Nations International Day Against Terrorism.
In 2008, I accompanied Sheila Harris to the monument for the first time. There, she pondered on what could have been her fate.
I feel now. Shall I say a prayer?
Oh, sure.
Dear God, this is the first time I ever come down here. Lord, remember those families who lost their loved ones. Even me, Lord. I am numb. Cause my name could be over here. May they rest in peace until I come.
Why? That touching me. So I name could have there now. Touch me to man. This them thing are evil. Evil. Make I show you something too. And that alone. So then take down that. And you see the two guys there. Them did have them. I can't continue with that, but make it go on in a minute. Because more show now the evening tide too, I can't leave out that too, Yeah, that's why I see them. When them talk, it get me so angry, You understand? When them come up with them foolishness, it get me angry, man. Real angry. I could go to the evening tide. Evening tide. Yes. And this is what them to them themselves. Yeah, that plane could have dropped in Jamaica. It could have. See? I could go for evening tide. Yeah, I could go for evening tide. This sinful man. Them thing that touch him though. Them people, them win medal that go home, them do not to deserve this, You can't put them thing them and come and play the same game, I use the same thing them again, The lies, the deceit. Them I use back in the sentence and I watch my children know me feel angry, In figure, man. Yeah, man. And the figure, man. See? The same lies, the same deceit I use. Don't put up evening tide. Just look on this. Push up this. Look on the place. Look on the place. 53, Simande there. And say I come there to, evening tide fair with them talk about. Look on this. See them there? 153 of them, you know. The 20th of May, remember October was the election. And them see it fit. You know, when them put it out as a CIA bonnet down, a JLP bonnet down. Because even if they get the petroleum jelly with them tests who want them to the bonnet down. You know, I heard some old people, you think about your granny and them think they for burn down this. You know? That's why Queenie, I respect you neither. I love how you come up and talk, say you fight political battle still. Yes. You understand? But only she charged for treason. Now when she went out in a Babsy went out and I talk about who they block them to charge for treason. See, in a Caribbean, the phone never knows them taking a plane. Don't it? Yeah, well, them going to take it down, man. Yes? The secretary of the Cuban, they may kill other people too, you know, innocently. Look on this. Yeah? And May the 20th, 1980, 153 women, many destitute, with physical disabilities were burned to death in a massive fire which destroyed the Eventide home located on Slipen Road, St. Andrew, where they resided. The early morning fire spread rapidly through the mainly wooden building. Rapidly, that means they use the petroleum jelly for fuel because we know if a fire, no, there is no way. And electricity they start a fire and an early morning and people are cook. But the fire just get up and you see the building, it spread rapidly. That means them goes out there with the petroleum thing with them up the fuel. If it spread like that, because we see borders get a fire and it not spread like this so fast. Even that big place. Big place. So it couldn't spread rapidly and trap everybody. By the way, them they shut the door and everything. Them have it there. Depend documentary, them they shut the door. Them ban it, yeah. Yeah, you understand? Look on this. Look what them do with people, them, and then still come back and chat about bullshit. Yeah, man, still come back. Look here. Anybody granny and them thing, hey, that's why I say me no around put them in a run over history, you know. I mean, I show them, remember nothing me I make up. Look here. Look on the fire, look on this. Yes, all here. Look there. Look how the place big. Look how big is this place. Look, and that burned down in space a couple minutes, you know. The whole of this burned down, it's impossible. And then barricade the people. She step here, she step down, step all over the place. Nobody no get where. 153 of them burned to death. Eh? Them couldn't even come to win, nothing at all. Nothing. You burn them to death. To make man they look bad. Look on this. And then build back golden age home, them a talk about build back. And call it golden age home. After, look there. Boy, the man them wicked, you know, look here. You saw the place big? Burn right down. See, I go there to them now yourself, you know. See him there? After, you know. See there? Yeah, man. If you just discredit Mandley, yeah? Anytime Andrew call him name, that's how we attack him. Man, there, should have put him. These are the things that we are talking about. Look on this. Yeah? This wicked here. See that? One of the greatest strategies of independence Jamaica. 5 months before the bloodiest general election. This is me. See there? June, July, August, September, October. October was the election. 5 months before the bloodiest election. 5 months. Yeah, because the election was the October. Yeah, this is what them do. And you know, the CIA documents are CIA come, but make sure, let me tell you again. Yeah, are they same JLP, them, they are active, but them call them headquarters, them come up and them do this, them shoot Bob Marley, them nearly assassinate Michael Manley, not to worry about it. It's there. It's there. When me hear Andrew coming and talk about Mandela do this with the nasty say you can't have outside thing to get power. And Mandela, none of them drop out of school or work or nothing at all. You know. See, no follow what them attack say, you know. Bus never stop running. You know them 2 times they at 76, where you know you have to look out 80, you have to block up your place because them have walk and shoot people. So people have to start bleach in a garrison. And look out for them attack you. Not you attacking them, you know. Them attack you. And this is what them do. And then come with lies. You know? The same lies and just live on the same fucking lies. That's why I get my mother all the time, you know. Because of the same lies, me I look on how them destroy the place. And I say, but cool, no. Me could have big channel going and they want to come around and talk about like, we not been around for them neither, you know. Because them not patriotic, you know. Things with them talking about them doing, you know. Them evil. Yes, them evil. Them are evil, them are cruel. Yeah? So when them run out and talk, boom, bam, bam, them drop all plane. It could have dropped in a Jamaica. Who never even know so them terrorists, they never know so them drop planes. Yeah, them same man. Them same man. Yeah. Yes, you understand? I hear them have a car come there, and the same car come where you see my leader for. And I tried discredit Michael man, they would take to nurse herself. Me, they would big dirty thinking about Andrew one is the greatest. But Andrew one is not a prime minister. Go prime minister, we can't even certify him stuff the declaration can't certify, brother. When not go, man. Eh? Go away, man. Carry come. Manly. Monday, I miss this. Carry come. Look here. Look who founded Carry come in a cemetery. Look here.
Community was established by the Treaty of Chaguaramas signed by Barbados, Jamaica, Guyana, and Trinidad and Tobago on July 4th, 1973, and entered into force subsequently on August 1st, 1973.
Monday there. Hear the speech. So no, Amanda, them for the farm carry come. Michael Manley, the founding father, one of the founding father of Carry come here. We say Andrew Ed the other day, and they must say, Carry come and blah, 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 and them can't go down there, no one do all kind of things to them. Michael Manley founded that. See? And Andrew come up out him and try to tap Michael Manley and tap a bag of bullshit. See? And though them a fight us, when them a fight, another foolishness. Drop out plane, burn on even tide on 153 people. Eh? Me can't in a them there. And them lie. Andrew, see what I go over there? See that?
Please, Vibes Cartel. Please, Spice. King and Queen for dancehall Jamaica. Please, anybody out there can help me, my mother. Please. This is some salt and flour. Look at the salt and flour I'm doing for me and my mother. Please.
See mother there, him there. Him have salt and flour. Him nobody say Andrew one is, you know. This is Andrew Jamaica. The amount of people and the amount of the dump now, it's unbelievable. Not to worry about it. Them are talk about work, people hustle. Everything out of them mouth a lie, them a tell. Them a do PR, the same CIA PR fuckery. I hate them a use Big Mama, but Big Mama not gonna worry that. We know them trick there. Them all trick them, we know them. You understand? We know distraction, we know the whole of that. And me understand me them more than them, you know. Them are shit. But me like when them talk, I can use it, beat them, because I know the history of the thing. Them don't know, you know. Me send them, including Andrew one is, go study up some shit. Them don't know. The one of them way in that, them on got chat. That's why I say I can oof them so. Yes. Like put up on a draft board. You understand? Yeah man. Me not ramp with them, man. Me not play with them. See, look on all this. This does it. If you say Jamaica, who say Jamaica? The rate jump gone up now. Where Jamaica now full employed. Now, honest. Yeah, look at that one. Let me show you something, people. Look on this. This is Andrew murder rate completely upon him. Not the whole of it. In a 2 term, him have 13,000 dead. 13,000. Look here. 2016, him have 1,354. 2017, him have 16. This are the third. Let me tell you now. These are the third highest murder rate in the history of Jamaica from 62. The third highest per Andrew watch. So him have 1,354. 2017 at 1,647. That is the highest murder rate is 2009. 1,683. The second one at 2005. 16 months, 74. And that one here. See that one here? At the third highest. 1647. In the history. So somebody there's a murder per Andrew Watch. Even nobody not dead at all. You can't come out and say, because they are alive, you know, they are not on a number. They are alive for people, mother, father, you know, son, daughter, brother, niece, nephew, cousin. Alive them here. The people still are mourn. And they watch. When we this and we this is bull crap. Yeah. You understand? Them strike again. Them are nastiness, man. Them are nastiness. But look at this now. This are the murder per Andrew Watch. So it go up and it come down. It go at 1289. 2019 it go back at 1340. 2020, remember I go up there so it come down. So we see we notice them go up and come down. 1332. 2021, 1474. 22, 50. Remember, I go up and for them own watch people. So you can't compare your own watch and say, we carry on murder rate over this is them are measured upon them own self. The way of big dirty thinking garbage truck food. So I'm measured from 2022, but we carry on murder rate in the last 4 years. So the last 5 years you can't down, or the last 60. No, you forget. Let me tell you something. If you're in a power for 10 years, you see. Only where you measure murder rate, dirty thinking, Chuck. You have to say you carried on murder rate for the last fucking 10 years. You can't miss out one. That's upon your watch. There is no way you said the last 4 years we carried on murder rate, but behind the 4, you have to say the 4 done more and then the 5 go. The year after that go. You can't measure murder rate like that. Yes. Yeah, man. You don't measure murder rate like that. None at all. Okay? You measure murder rate per Andrew Watch. How much people dead per him watch? Him have the worst murder rate for 2 terms. 13,000 something. Yeah? Yeah. Do you understand? See? No, but the murder rate might higher, but we'll give them what them did put out. With it out before them are rubber, right? So even if you do it, so remember these are people die when them watch. So if you measure murder rate, so we and the last 4 years, look what I'm doing. Look at food. The last 4 years, so I'm starting from 22 and said 2015, 1511. So I'm saying the last 4 years, them are come down with murder. So you have 15, 13, 11. Then them say them come down the last. You know, so the last 5 years or the last 6. Brother, when you have the whole thing stuck up to you, you can't count the last 4 years. You take the people them to eat that and don't big dirty thinking eat that chuck. And by the way, you said the PMP a lie. Yeah, because I see one of them, let me put him up and hear what I say. Let me rub him out. Look here.
This piece of information.
Negative thoughts, misinformation, innuendos, everything to destroy the best government Jamaica has ever seen, the Andrew Holness-led administration.
So look at the claim that I put him up, said the best government Jamaica ever seen. Destroy the fucking place. Destroy the place. And said Jamaica the best government. Now I play with Andrew say after this. And you tell me about the best government. Because Una live through it. You just look back where you used to buy things in 2015 and where you used to go through. And where you go through either as a motorist or your light bill, or your food, and no job, no there, nothing, and tell me for the best government is. Him is a piece of him fool your this piece of garbage in front of me. Garbage truck. Garbage truck. Yeah? Hear the garbage we're going to talk about now. Let me correct him. Hear this.
And I don't want to go into all the negatives that they have been spewing.
You don't know? Oh, you spew negative. Oh, the fuck you spew negative? If you want a government, if you want them and point out the thing that we're now do, and then there is nothing positive for them do, Uncle Robber, and that's not positive and negative too. So if you talk about negative, you spew. Eh? Yeah, man. Important, of course. Of course. Hear the garbage. Yeah.
And give it any oxygen. I want to concentrate on positive things for the few minutes I have.
Hear this.
First of all, how many of you recall when Darrell Vaz said he's going to have a school bus program?
Hear this.
Do you recall what the PNP did?
People, so Darrell Vaz, you know what I'm saying, the government, you know. Darrell Vaz said, right away tell you where I'm just saying, Darrell Vaz said, have a school bus. Remember, I Wood Vaz, his woman first, his wife come out with it first, you know, with the bus. And then him said, him a buy, must say, couple. And then him said, the government add on to this. Him said, do you care what the PNP did? Look how big and stink and fool Darrell Vaz attack for the whole government. I remember, you know, if me call to people right now, me see taxi up and down and everything, and nobody not take the school bus them. They might take them normal fucking transportation, mid-charity people. Me don't know what do this garbage. Here we must say no, here we must say yes, sir. With him lie and dirty thinking self. Hear this.
How they undermine it?
Hear them undermine something. Hear this.
And said it can't work.
But it can't work, it not work. People ignore it, it not working. So hear this motherfucker. Remember, we have niece, and everybody have got school same way and everything, you know. And them not taking no school bus. They might take them taxi and them regular bus same way. So it comes like the school bus don't exist at some place. Okay? Maybe just tell you. I can't talk to people and never tell you. Hear that little motherfucking piece of shit. Hear that?
You can endanger the children.
Yeah,
the parents don't want it.
Hear this.
Liberals across the country now. Every parent not only praising the bus system, school bus system, but begging for more.
Every parent, anybody from your son, want to pick them go to school, want to beg them for more school bus, so I want to praise the school bus. Paula, your niece and every them praise the school bus, them take the school bus. Anybody there right pan your son now, talk to me now. Want to pick the take school bus, I want a niece and nephew who. I want to neighbor, I want to see them way past and I praise the school bus and take it. No, me ask if you see people praise the school bus. Every parent, you praise the school bus them and take it. For the people take it. This is how them lie, you know. This is how the nastiness them lie, you know. If just use the word, every parent praise the bus them. And I beg for more. Right in front of my face, the garbage, I tell my plane back. In fool your fuck. But you can't do real poll. The amount of people, nobody never look at the school bus. Yeah? So when I'm liberate, place matter 1 and 2, I run to that. People take them tax and do them things same way. But this is how I'm like, hear this.
School bus program. Do you recall what the PNP did?
Yeah,
how they undermine it?
Yeah,
said it can't work. You can endanger the children.
Yeah,
the parents don't want it. Liberals across the country now. Every parent
mean every parent.
Not only praising the bus system, school bus system, but begging for more.
Every parent have praise something where them they even look upon, them they even see. And I'm going to ask them what it takes for fund them, because them drive at them nasty the same way. Because we see them pack up all over the place. We ignore them like junk. So when I say a lie, you know, me just say police woman I take school picking off a bus because a big man lean up on them, we can show him. Which I said, come on and take out our badge. I'm giving you a warning, not for school bus, normal bus. It's empty Manchester. But this is how them lie. You can't make them come out and him say every parent, him say the whole I want to. As parents, I praise it. You understand? The kids them not take it. So when them do know, the red vibes come out last week and say, well, them talk to parents. You couldn't go talk to the parents on the place. Another parent said this. And him jump come say to repeat. Me tell you all the fuck of them and then fool your fuck. We have video. I must take out the girl who says she a police. Do one of the boy them belt down here so this and that when you look at them in the bus and an old man lean up on one of the girl. An Excel one of the school. When she say, hey, come on for the bus. And the normal bus them take. Eh? You understand? And the normal bus them take. Me see the woman took out her ID and run them off. Him say every parent, this a lie now. Look on the lie where he must prove front of me. And him knows about fact checking. And look on the one that will put him up. Look on the lie where big dirty thinking garbage truck does tell. Right in front of me. Brother, where facts check your man. Be careful where you say, brother. Because this, you mislead the people there. Yeah? Most people not taking the buses. Yeah? Them not taking them. Let me just tell you, and it's there, it's documented. Yeah, if you can go to Google and see one in a school bus. You fucking asshead. Yeah? Police woman, let me see if I can drop this fast and show you. Yeah? Police woman. School. Half bus. Jamaica. If it was a school bus, where do you think policewomen have put off, pick me off a bus? Eh? If this was a school bus, conductor in this assault, look at. Let me see how this is. Saglina. Yeah, look at. This ain't a school bus neither, see that? Conductor in this seat, look, and then in green, look at. Conductor in video assault carpet era school girl and bus in police custody. It and a school bus them. See, you see the mark for the thing there? I try. People are take them one bus and go to school. This guy has said everybody on school bus. This is how them fucking them fool your fart. And no fool them lie. Them lie. See? Look here. See? So you have them here. You have the school bus, the girl there. When we see police woman take off a bus. I say, come off, I give her an order. Get off the bus and take out her ID. Do you know big people up on the bus and old man are lean on the school bus? Eh? Children are take them. But this time like, yeah, the next time I come with again now. Hear this now.
And I understand, Minister Vaz, it's like bringing more school bus. So the
yeah, no, I understand when that's not carrying bus from December and carrying more buses. I know no bus not there. And then I buy a brand new bus, I'm gonna buy. Can I buy them school bus? I know. He said, I'm gonna buy 100 new different bus now from Europe. Them don't reach yet. And we're not hearing with them yet. See, they nearly get a year and not come there. Yeah. At the end, I just put them in up because she run them off of the bus. Because she said, oh, she talked to the big man, so. Because the man must say, you know, you have some big man lean up and I must lean up on her shoulder and she rush him. Because she's sitting there rushing. But when the school girl get up in her, the youth, one bag of them come off, you know. Yeah, a bag of big people like. So when she do, come off, I'm giving you a lot. I remember seeing the power. It could be a lawful order. You took out a thing and show them. And I tell them, yeah, give them laugh and take out people picking off a bus. You should have protect them. Because if you carry that story there, you know, it's wrong. It's wrong. Yeah? She have duty. And then I tell the boy, she have you You have duty to give people lawful order, not for your work. Yeah? But you take out thing and I take out pick me out a bus. The man go lean pan her. You know, find out then which part you lean. You know, talk to him so. Hey, come on for the bus. You know, and then she go in that thing and take out that thing and I give it a lawful order, come on for the bus. He tell me, I say, go and sit down, man. What kind of lawful order you give? You're on duty. Eh? Police on duty to come get some, and then remember if they are unlawful, can't unlawful to take them off. You will not do that, you protect the kids there. And you find out why you lean panel, because she say you lean panel, you lean your front panel, so she not like, you don't want to lean pan people like that. You don't want to do that. You understand? Instead they run them off of the bus. And not she don't come off enough of them. So it matter bullshit. The kids them still in a taxi, still a take bus and everything. So he must say every parent. Him say every mean every, you know. Him can say, well, it mean some. Every parents. So I applaud it and boy. Because that's when them come out when observer put out this bullshit. Them not talk to every parents neither. Remember, you know, not even starting for how much weeks or months take up census to the world Jamaica. Oh, observer to talk to every fucking parents. And them say this. I'll be a garbage. I'm not a garbage them talk. Not even starting. We know how much 1,000 people with them I am putting in the field. Could I take up the census in like a 2 or 3 months time? Can enough people them not reach. So observer that talk to every parent. That's the bogus thing what Pumbas put out again. That is garbage. That is garbage. Yeah? Continue. Hear him again.
PNP can shut their mouth.
You hear him stink? You hear him stink? With him bogus statistic and a chat fuckery. Continue.
And really support a great program.
Great program in your backside. Come tell them what money to spend on it because they lose money best right and center. And I'll be a fuckery attack. That's what them put out me. I tell you it's bullshit. It's garbage. There is no way you take up that stats. No way. I mean, I tell you, say them take different, them take them taxis, them take them normal buses. Them never business about that, you know. So him attack is bullshit. And it's there, the video them dead for much. And show him. With them and other big people, that's not a school bus. Continue.
How many of you we have to talk about the positive things that is
How
happening?
many of you we have to talk about the never know the fucking matter?
In this country? How many of you realize that for the first time in our history, for 4 straight consecutive years, crime has gone down? Murder is going down?
Man, you know, crime has gone down, crime has gone down. And you can't say 4, if you're in there for 10 years, you have to say 10 consecutive years. You can't say fuck it. You cannot, come on, move from front of me. Me not tell you say your shit. You have to say 10 years, or 10 years him there for Sita. So it go down before him get it like this. Him run it, him run it at 13, 1,003, then 1,000. See that the third highest. Then it go down, yeah, so then it go down, then it go down, then it go up back. Then it go up back. Then it go down, then it go down. So you have to watch it. It's a pattern. I remember none of them I do it, you know. So here, remember straight none of them I do nothing. So they walk and kill people if you blame them. Here where I say yes or no. Yeah, and you can't use 4 years. None of them will come to about you have to use the whole fucking 10 years. You fucking ass it. So murder go down because it go up. You have the third highest murder rate for your watch. And you have for the 2 term, 13,000 and never happened in Jamaica. The worst murder rate upon him watch. You fucking ass it. You have to totally top of some acts too. You can't have 10 consecutive years and you take 4 out of it and say, for the 4 and then run with that. You know, see how big ass thing can fool garbage truck. Remember my crunch numbers, you know. You have to run with the whole 10 years. The 10 consecutive years. And you tell me about murder. Pan him watch. And tell me about crime pan him fucking watch. About 4 consecutive years. If you notice murder gone down that. These are the things that they use and chicken and send out. Him is a piece of shit. Hear what I say, yes, sir. Hear this.
No time in our history have we ever seen where a government is able to manage and support the police. So
I'm going to say manage murder, you know. You hear what I'm saying? A government is able to manage and support the police. The government now manage nothing.
That crime is going down, murder is going down for 4 consecutive years.
You're fucking idiot. For 10 years, you have over 13,000 murder per your watch. And you have to talk about for the world fucking 10 years. So it go up, it come down, and it go up back again, it come down. So we expect it to go up back again, you piece of shit. Yeah? So we look for your 10 years figure. Can't remember you run consecutive. So you can't take out 4 and talk to me. You're a dumbass. He's a piece of shit. Yes. So you look on the scale. And you see, I'll be a fucker him attacking with a piece of shit. A garbage truck this. Yeah? You can't treat nobody on it. Hear this now.
And is this the Andrew Holness-led administration
that
has given the security forces the technology?
Well, the technology by security force have. M16 there from the 60s. But then your technology. Oh, them out to shoot people. Your technology, them are use car. A technology. It's a regular thing now. What kind of technology them I use? So you could not Jeep and them jump out it and shoot and train at the back and that's a technology. Bullet a technology. No, that's a normal thing now. When it come in, it was technology. Yeah? We don't call that no tech yasso. See? That's a normal thing we have every other police have and them should have whatever. Not the M16. Them the battlefield gun. See? So the police have no technology for do what? Eh? You know, I'm not going to be at about you give them technology. Hear this again. Hear the garbage. Hear this.
The vehicles?
So what the technology will them get? The vehicles. I talk about them. The vehicle back them I use I throw people in. Hear this. The vehicles. Eh? You hear him? Hey. Forceful. Illusion and be a shit him attack Sheldon. But Uncle Dunson can't talk to the. I wonder if you, hey, him fool your fuck. Him have one of the Google them, you know. Can me him talk before when me see him and me say, I request and him fool your. Hey, all people listen to them garbage. A garbage truck.
And the manpower.
Yeah, and the manpower. Yeah,
as Minister Favour Williams told you, they have moved the complement of the police force from 10,000 to 14,000.
The complement, him at about 10,000 and 14,000. When you look at be a gunman and putting at the force. Be a gunman. Let me show you. Let me show you one. Let me show you a set of them. Tell me if them are police. You tell me if them are police. Hold on, they want some. Let me drop. Wait there. Them are police. Me don't want to hear them song. Me don't want to hear them song. See them what them are doing? Them are dance, them look dirty song and cock up and all kind of thing. See them here? See them here? And them I'm saying putting the force in the people, them here. If you ever play the song where you hear them dance, you're shame. If you ever in your station this seminar, them are police though, you see that? And them are call police. Take pay criminal, put in the right force and call them police. If you ever hear, you know why you hear the song where I play? I don't want to play for me think, you know, say. See? You see the try them mass and them play them thing. Me say, I want to carry your bullshit. I could hear you bullshit. Carry me, after me. I pay them, you tell them putting the force. Be a criminal. Nothing to do with policing. It just say, them can master and shoot people and kill people like whatever do and do fucking shit. And I talk about them pro, about them move compliments. Or you take them, you to put in a force. And you see them heap up, them have them gang in that already. No, them feel comfortable in that. Me were paid. You see some bigger man so retired, them say money I kill them, you know. Cause them they kill them when I have some of them money father and them thing there now, brother and things. So they want to carry revenge from them just wait, cause them know them soon come out. So them have it for themselves, them a bag of criminal, them catch and put in that. About 10,000 to 14,000 compliments. So if you put 14, but that have to do with people that not say people not hard. Right now, them are going to shoot people, shoot innocent people. Look how them mass up with the mass on there. Look here. Hear the song with them are playing. Girl, you pum pum. You hear? See, look here. Then I say police in our station. See what them do there? All right. See them there? Favor drunk. Then that I play girl, you pum pum and cock up and do what them a do. And that them a play and that. In the station. Them are police. First time you have real police here, them than a police. Them just catch the over in them garrison. I'm giving them a 3 months and put them in a clothes. Them than a police. Eh? And this a piece of shit I talk about. Look at favor lizard. Move in front of me. You garbage you. I talk about the greatest. Andrew the greatest. Yeah, but Andrew say yes, so. I play with Andrew as a writer, so. Never play Andrew writer, so. Andrew, come tell them how the economists here.
Because I know when I speak like this, which I have to do, I have to make these very controversial statements and confront our people, because sometimes we have false notions of our exceptionality. And I have to confront to say, hey, we need to change.
So piece of shit. You just attack them at the greatest, but I tell you, say we have false notion. Yes.
And there are those persons who are deeply wedded in an illusion. In my recent budget debate, I made a central point. Every Jamaican must increase their productivity. Our fiscal management and stability and our resilience will only carry us to maybe 1 to 2% growth. But if we're going to break that threshold of growth that we have had, which has formed the ceiling of our growth for most of the last decade, we must increase our productivity. Speaking to my friend,
the country run good. If it run good, and them are the best. He might tell you, say, and I ask you where you contribute. See, if does come and tell you, say the country fucked up. If the country great, you couldn't hear a speech like this. I mean, I tell you, say, that, you know why I'm having to do a speech like this? The reality is the country stuck. The country gone bad. It fucked up. When them at this PR no make nothing. So him said, the whole I want to hear when I say, yes, I'm blame the whole I want to know, not himself. From poverty to prosperity, hear this.
In the market, as I'm speaking to business people, what have you?
I speak to our business people in the market. What them have to produce? Them sell the produce what them get. And them not buyer. So we must hear this.
Increase our productivity. Speaking to my friend.
So he must tell them to increase the productivity. If Jamaica go and go them that tell these things. Come on now. Come on now. This
friend in the market, as I'm speaking to business people, what have you produced recently?
Yeah.
What did you contribute to the GDP of the country? And if every Jamaican were to ask and answer that question honestly, then we would begin to start to treat with this issue of productivity. Because there is a disconnection between what we want and what we produce.
Brother, you say you do everything, so you mean them have disconnection now and what you produce. So all them say you go and good and you come with this fuckery. Eh? How is it that you have borrow so much money? One little hurricane, you can't fix what they say now the money, but they still them run out and talk fuckery. How is it the hospital stays so nothing at all no in night? Yeah? Even nurse and doctor come out, them not have aspirin, but yesterday are the best. To kill our people, brother. That's if you look money for motorists now, them not see that for themselves. You think motor does do anything and you come with your bag of fuckery, brother. Eh? I know you blame the whole people, them and you still, you have said this, but you still them come out and spread them propaganda. This, I saw the country stay for you, you know. It now produce nothing. Yes, sir. Well, I tell you, he might come tell you this and say it might be controversial. But yesterday, if you listening before, he make it sound great. But he might blame you now. Say, so, not produce nothing. Name of the Prime Minister for 10 years. He might raise him pay, not producing nothing. Yeah? But they must spread them propaganda and that bullshit about the last 4 years. Nobody can tell about the last 4 years in a crime. They must say the last 10. 10. And add up how much people dead panic. No murder rate. Them think people are idiot. Yeah.
Because somehow in our minds, somebody's just going to come and hand it to us. We can't claim to be independent or seeking our independence if we continue to look for our...
What do you mean by seeking? We're independent. So you mean we can't claim we're independent if we look for what? No, you tell the people them say you alone can't go the thing. So 10 years now you come and tell them say we can't claim for being independent or seeking independent if we are look for people out there. So brother, you say your government alone can't do it. And you still have them go around and tell lie. Me I tell us a lie no put you away. The more people I want thing, I will not root of lie. Kind of make no sense. Me not come back. Me just say hold them by them one word, you know. I mean I tell them before my word pass away, the moon drop out of the sky and it will not. Because these are simple calculation. When them come and tell lie, we dissect it and show you. Knowledge and power. See, them have to stop this. See, the country go back where you come and say this. If they come and tell about milk and honey, a matter of fact, him never have to tell you that seed. Yeah? Continue.
Salvation and rescue from outside.
All right, so the country are going good. Patrick, if Jamaica going good, if they use a word, say you in the country can look for salvation and rescue. Wait, that mean, brother, if you swim and you look out for rescue, what happened to you? If you're out in the water, or if you're in the wild, or you're there somewhere you look for rescue, what happened to you? Everything's okay with you? Are you in a danger? Eh? If you make use a word so we can look for rescue from outside, what that mean? That no means the country in a danger. Eh? Who wants some here, so Sheldon? What that mean? If you swim, for you, if remember you're a good swimmer and you're good, you're not looking for rescue, right? You're a swimmer, sure. But when you start looking for rescue, that means you're in a danger. You're looking for somebody to come rescue because you're in a danger, you know. Maybe you're out for a journey, you're tired and you can't go no more or something for you look for somebody to rescue you. You understand? Eh? You know, see people rescue people from fire, from home fire, from house fire and all kind of things. When you look for rescue, you're in a danger. Yeah? You understand? If you look somebody for rescue you financially, well, you're in a danger financially. No care where you put it, when you look for rescue, you're in danger. Yeah. 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 Make the army headquarters there. On fire. Well, we see this.
We can't claim to be independent or seeking our independence if we continue to look for our salvation and rescue from outside.
If we continue to look for salvation and rescue from outside. But brother, but you see, you hear this? Yeah, you hear this, Sheldon? No, but he might tell you no, it don't tell you the state. But no, it's good when I make this, Sheldon. Listen, I want to. If Jamaica did a run, is a paradise. Like we might say, he want to use these, he want to make these statements. And use some strong word like that. You can't say you're independent or you seek independent if you have to look for rescue and salvation, for save your salvation. Can remember, you know, you talk about salvation from God. You want to save. Yeah? You understand? You look for salvation, for save the country and look rescue from outside. Brother, you say you alone can do it, brother. So, you come with them. Let me play it back and make me not stop playing this. Hear this.
Hand it to us. We can't claim to be independent or seeking our independence if we continue to look for our salvation and rescue from outside. We must produce our way to what we want.
That means we're not producing. That means we're not go good. This simple. We must produce a way to what we want. But how we are producing, grace them not expand. None of them country, company not expand. So Jamaica stop. So the lies we might tell, at the first year I talk yourself, I tell you the state of the country. You have to play this stuff. It tell you the state of the country. Same thing what I talk about. For you look for your salvation, to save you. Like when you look for Christ and God Almighty to come save you. Right? And you look for your rescue, that means in a danger. Yeah? You look at Savior now. Him say you can't look at what to produce yourself out of what we know. Really? Really? And you see the mini and them I went up and down and tell us that things are right. See me, you when you ready tell the same thing.
Jamaica produces about 1,400 Jamaican dollars per hour. Barbados produces 3,500. That's about 2.5 times what we do. And the Dominican Republic produces about $4,200 or 3 times what we produce. Trinidad and Tobago produces $31 per hour, and Panama produces $43 or 5 times what we produce per hour. That's the reality. We are second from the bottom.
Second from the bottom. Not my work and the film watch.
Only Haiti produce less than us. Regionally.
Oh, not my word. Andrew won this, I tell you that we're him great. So now you should have take it up for 10 years, man, and make a produce more than them, brother. Now you alone say you can't wait. So we now produce that we have to match up with 80. And by the way, when them say 1,000 what? 300 and 1,004, he might talk like $9, you know. And not even $10, like 1,006. $9 little cents. $9 per hour. When them produce $30 per hour, $40, $50 per hour. That thing does tell you. He does say it. So when them say this, where you have to dismiss this and then take him lies them. It don't make no sense. Eh? Me done with Andrew Honest. These are the garbage of Andrew Honest. Me done with him, man. Done with him. Me come knock him. Me come knock them later for where go on later. You me come knock them for where go on later. Can me done with him this year? All right, time out. Can go eat for breakfast. Bless.
We in lump sum, we a beat it till the hammer burn. We now make them get in on them and again. None of them boy, we none of them. We in lump sum, we a beat it till the hammer burn. We now make them get in on them and again. None of them boy, we none of them. We alone some rise up the bomber dude.
I'm not a Judas, them a backstabber. I'm my wife, and this straight beauty and glamour. No guy can walk to name me with no dagger. Maybe the heart of Mandela, but the mind of a Zama in the mold like a bullman. We send us the jammer. Lyrically inclined, be a metaphor, so no listen to lyrics line to line. Become a lyrical fighter. Put up in the rhythm, they want some more hole in a hater. Lyrically inclined.